on Saturdays as well. Um, Also, be sure if you haven't yet to post about you and your skills on our networking page at innovatorsThinkTank.com, which is where you can find the live stream and resources for class two today. I got you up here, Ross. Give me one more second. And with that, Sarah, if I miss anything, I'll pass over the mic to you to give you a little mic check. How are you doing, Sarah?
Well, I hope the mic works because I'll tell you what, it didn't work coming in. Make sure that you're updating your X app for here on out. Just do as I say, not as I did. Um, welcome, welcome. We are in week one of season four. I can't believe it. And I just think it's awesome. And I love seeing all the familiar faces. And I'm looking forward to also seeing how everybody progresses. This is going to be a test your metal and kind of class. And it's not going to be easy. I'll just say it straightforward. It's not going to be an easy class, but it's going to be rewarding. The things that you have to fight for the hardest are the ones that are usually the things that you remember the most and you've grown the most through that process. So I just want to put that out there. Make sure that folks are in the right mindset. You guys have already shown up, which is important. Showing up for yourself, making the time to learn a new skill and hack your own education. So I'm very excited. As Cash Money had mentioned, you want to make sure you have Python or Node.js. If we can put those links, we're going to have them on the innovatorsthinktank.com, probably, hopefully, definitely in the Slack channel. If you're not a part of that, please make sure that you DM Tech in Schools and us so that we can make sure that you're a part of that system. And don't click on any errant links. We want to make sure that you're clicking the links that you're supposed to. And today is going to be one of those moments where we'll have speakers, yes, probably, but this is one of the times where you're going to actually sit back and really listen and watch and do. Um, it is a little bit different than our normal format, but um, this is one of those kinds of classes that is very informational dense. So you're going to have to really concentrate. So this is not one that you can sit on the sidelines and then kind of jump in and jump out, between chores and things like that at the house. You really want to buckle down and pay attention. And I'm just putting that out there because I know how I am personally when it comes to anything code. The last thing that we want to make sure is if you do not have my AI tutor, this is going to be a hard course. um, because even though you can cobble together some of the art, you know, pieces from out in the wild, um, going from back and forth is going to be very difficult. And I'll put out there, it's not saying that it can't be done. I was just on the phone with Nick Alisher and Ross prior to class. And so getting to know the lay of the land, just understand that you are deciding to take the class on hard mode or expert mode the minute that you're doing that. So if you are already had that skill set um, in your quiver, then you're going to be fine. But if you don't have that, um, like I am not that proficient, I know just enough to make robots go. That's it. And I lean very heavily into the folks that do know that stuff because it is one of the skills that I struggle with. And it's not in my superpower. It's one of those things that I really have to work at, and there will be tears and swearing and all of that lovely stuff behind the scenes. So just, think about why you're here because that why has to be so crystal clear, shiny, and bright. And it will be a beacon in the dark times where you want to just throw away your technology, right? You have to have that on a sticky note. You have to understand what is at stake, why you're working so hard, why you're showing up, and why you're putting in the work. Because if you don't have that at the fingertips, it's very easy to say, I quit. And we don't want that. So, um, without much further chit chat, it's about 10 minutes in, which is good because now we have a full class. It's lovely to see all of you. I missed you last week. I'll just tell you straight out. It becomes a habit to learn side by side with folks, and then when you have a bye week, you feel a little empty. You're like, wow, I need something to do to fill in the space. So I went back into my Mighty Networks and went and tried to make sure I was not going to leave my 42 or 43 as my test score. So that's something else that folks need to pay attention to for their Cisco accreditation. Don't leave that alone. You only have a month, remember? And a good portion of that is already gone. So don't slack on that one. But I want to test Nick, Alisher, and Ross's mic. I'm not seeing that Tech in Schools is a speaker. Cash Money Kev, are they?
They are. They are. Yeah, you might
Oh,
have to
this is great.
request
I'm going to take a lap. I'll be right back.
Do you guys hear me? Does it work? Is it
I can hear
working?
you, Ross. It works perfect,
Okay.
brother. You sound awesome.
We'll wait for her to come back, and I'll kind of go over what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a little test run to get the engines revved a little bit before we actually build anything. So we're gonna try and see how much you guys know. Most people probably should get through it. Some of you will just fail gloriously, and that's okay. Just like go down in flames, like have fun with it. But it'll be a good testament to see if you remember literally anything from season 1. So this should be not difficult, but not easy the first part. But yeah, I'll explain more. Sarah, you good? You here? You alive?
I think I am. I can see you. So that's a win. We'll chalk that up. Go ahead, Ross.
Also, no promises, but I did ping some creators that we're going to talk about. So maybe they'll come here and show themselves to you. We'll see. If they do, that'd be super cool. But if they don't, it doesn't matter. We're still going to talk about them because they're important in this process. So I'm not going to go over installing Node, getting VS Code ready. Like you should be ready right now in VS Code with the code editor, like ready to go. Is everyone there? Because if you're not, you're already 10 cents behind. So while we start, get yourself situated, open VS Code, make sure you have Node. And you got to be ready to run some commands. And open GitHub, make sure you're logged in. That's the first 2 things you need.
I'm looking through the crowd. All of you should know this. So you already have all the pieces. And last session, we did mention that that was what needed to happen. So I'm thinking that most of us are already there. There are some faces in the crowd, Lucky, Jolly Ride, and I think it's Kari Kari. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I know that you might be new to the ecosystem. I just want to make sure that you have the tools that you need because I haven't seen you before, or maybe it's a different PFP. So we'll just make sure. But yes, go ahead, Ross.
So you will need to log into GitHub and have VS Code open. If you don't know what those 2 things are, maybe I'm not going to do it, but maybe Sharon can give you a quick 2-minute overview, catch you up. But friends have to help friends. So no, I'm not going to say anything because that's not part of it right now. But if anyone wants to volunteer info, you can. But the quick and dirty is install Node.js and get VS Code. And Sharon, if you would like to elaborate, feel free.
Well, I'm guessing we need GitHub to get our project, right? Because we're not going to start from scratch, I'm guessing. And a lot of the developers have their projects open source on GitHub. So there's a lot that you can find there. And that's what I think we're going to be doing, right?
Yep, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm assuming you already have VS Code open like I do.
Yep.
And it's like completely blank and looks like this.
Yep.
So if you're here where I am on my screen, then you're basically where you need to be to start this project because we're going to pull this project from Lee Robinson of Vercel. And he created something that we're going to use. And I'm going to drop the link and all that in a minute. But these are the 2 things you need at this point right now.
Ross, you said something about Gradio.
No Gradio yet.
Okay.
We're good, right? We're not doing Gradio, nothing. We're gonna, can we deploy, right? This starter kit, like 100%. If we can, then we can do more. We have to be able to deploy this. It's really important. So if you guys are in this space, what you want to do is check the pill as we do things. And if you need to send me things, you just put it in the pill. Does that make sense? So if I say find a link to do whatever, you just put it in the pill and then we could all see it. So for example, this is the test. See if you guys are paying attention. The first link is there right now. I put it in the Jumbotron. That is to Lee Robinson of herself. Should bring you here. Do you guys see it? AI Tutor should be posting it.
If you see it, heart it so that we all know which ones that you're looking in the purple pill. That's always a helpful thing. No one else will see it, just the person that posted it, because the algorithms have changed. So that's a quick and easy acknowledgement. Many of you, I understand, are clicking multiple screens in order to participate. You have your phone and then you have your laptop. We've said this over and over again in the recorded lines, and we understand, that you're toggling. And so if you do have a question and you are on a laptop, make sure you're given a signal flares so that we can see you, and that we catch your questions, etc. I'm going to be doing my best to kind of flag those. But if you do see the link that my AI tutor has posted, now the PFP is the little, student's hat or the graduation cap that's pink. So make sure that you're looking for that and that you are in the right place on your GitHub.
This is all really true things. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to set one thing really quick. Okay. So are you guys at the GitHub where I am? If you're not, join the stage and we can help you.
Do you want us to download the whole thing?
No, I don't want you to do anything yet.
Okay, can I just say something? You guys have AI Tutor by your side, I hope. Please open it and just ask the dumb questions that you might have first, if you have time for that. And most of the questions will be answered by AI Tutor.
And we are happy to announce during Idea to Impact that users of AI Tutor Plus and Premium and Ultra get 01. So you can see I have 01 and I'm in Plus. So you guys could follow along and use this model as well.
And Ross, you got a question from Dan real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just want a comment and then a question. I just wanted to say, Sarah, thank you for, kind of having that beginner friendly tone of, we understand. I think that's so important. I also want to say, I love the speed of this because, a lot of us have been here. And if you haven't, then I just wanted to make sure everybody is reading between the lines that there is a recording of this. You can always go back. There's a cohort here. There's a lot of things that I know will be talked about in order to stay together. We don't have to be together at the same time, but we can all stay together in different ways. The question is, just in the interest of staying together, I thought, just checking for understanding if I can use Python instead of Node.js and Next.js, just because I'm not used to that platform. But if not, that's okay too.
So here's the thing with that. We're gonna use a little bit of both at some point. Next.js. So for example, Sharon is we have users that use the API, and she's just like here in my face right now. So she comes to mind when I think about this. She uses the Next.js platform. She logs in, she sets up her machines, she runs her things, her prompts, and gets her return, in the API. Then she's using Python inside TypeScript. This is how we built our API. So in theory, you wouldn't want to use Python as a front end anyways, right? Whatever you can build in Python, what we're going to learn, Dan, which is mind blowing. We're going to do a small, tiny part of this because it is relatively easy. But you can take your own Python app that you built, whatever it does, right? And we could turn that into a fast API route and hit that via Next.js in a nice, pretty front end. So they're not really, they're two different things, but can be woven together. So this is a demonstration right now we're going to do. This is going to see if you have the chops to code in anything. So if you can code in Python, man, you could do this. And if you could do this, then you could do the next thing. So I wouldn't worry about like the language. I would worry about like execution. If you can follow along and complete what we're about to do right now, that's enough proof that you could stand up an application. The next step is just building a little Python page that does some backend stuff and then using it inside this. This is how we build things, Python and Next.js like together.
That is amazing. That just really helps my executive functioning part of my brain because I usually cook things up in a Python shell. But I'm open. I'm open to it. I just wanted to clarify.
Well,
Amazing.
all you need to do is make a wrapper from that shell, and now you have your own API. So like whatever you create in Python can be almost like usable for your own self and your own pretty front end. So you could design the front end with like no strings attached. It could be anything, like 3D models, anything. But also whatever you build can now be sold and monetized via API. This is what the Pixio API does using Fast API in Python. It's how all these companies wrap their services into an API so that you can use it. Other people can use it.
Amazing, amazing. I appreciate that. So I will. I'll yield the floor for now. I just am glad to have asked the question because now it helps me think about things in a different way. I appreciate it.
Yeah. If you're going to professionally build something, what's really important is understanding the architecture of the build and how to execute the architecture and push it to production. So things that you're going to learn here are fully applicable to like building Python software because it's all the same. So like when you get to Docker, that's very, very useful. A lot of people don't even understand what Docker is. And so we're going to be able to understand that, which will then increase your ability. You may see things totally differently of what technology you need after going through certain things. So just try and build this. And then when it comes to like the next phase, we're going to have sort of like we will choose what we do together. So it won't be like, oh, you're building a chat out. Like we're going to have some choices. And most of those choices in some way, shape, or form utilize Docker, which utilizes Python, which is Python. So you'll learn, and I don't know what app you have in mind, but when it comes to building, you're going to get to see how you should approach that anyways with AI. And so this will help you when you're building something totally custom. And that's what we're going to kind of go through with this, is how to really depend on it, like for real.
Folks that are at home, kind of to answer the question, your workflow is going to look different, but I will give you a subtle hint. If you're watching the live stream, you can see the tabs that Ross has open. Generally speaking, you want to have your Innovators Think Tank open. You want to have your My AI Tutor open, and you need to have your GitHub open. And then whatever else after that, make sure that you're following along. If you kind of get lost, workflows for folks that have been immersed in this environment, they just come naturally. For us that are just learning it or trying to find the most efficient way, use your reasoning skills and really dig deep and say, if they have all of these open, maybe I should too. It's like lurking on, Tech in School's GitHub. You kind of can figure out, they're looking into this. This might be added to Pixio, or this might be added to My AI Tutor in the future. That's the kind of forward thinking that you're it's not a chess game because you're not competing against anyone per se, but you are looking at the entire field or the theater if this was a war or something, right? And you're looking at the strategic high ground. What are they using? What are they opening up? And then you can kind of delineate your why. Like, why do they have all these things? So Sharon was saying, hey, we're going to need a GitHub. We're going to pull from Lee's repository, and then we're going to building off of that, because in this ecosystem, doing it all by scratch is going to take you forever, right? What we're doing is building off what's already been and then improving it and modifying it and hacking it according to the things that we need it to do, right? So pay attention to those workflows, because if you are not a developer, you're getting a master class in efficiency, right? So pay attention to the little details that might go unsaid while we work on this. So go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, so before you build anything, first you should always fork it. So make sure you forked it, like going like this and hitting fork. And then you should look like this. If your screen looks like mine, then it's good first step. But we can't really deploy or do anything because like what's even going on here? So anyone who codes or whatever or anything like that, do you guys know what to look for? Any ideas? Any smarty pants here? Come on, Sherry. Dan.
The
Someone.
question?
Come on,
What was
Kurt.
the question?
What's important? What do we got to figure out?
What was the question?
What's important? What do we got to figure out before we do anything?
What
Chrome.
language it's written in or so?
Huh?
I look at things like when was it last updated? I look at
Okay,
how many
5 days
people are
ago.
looking at it. If it's a legit thing, I'm trying to suss it out. I want to see
So-
if it's legit.
Yep,
So
safe
it's
sauce.
legit because it's Lee Robinson. So when it comes to trusted sources, he's the VP of product development at Vercel.
Yes,
think
I
it's
know,
trusted,
but
yeah.
you know, I'm practicing good internet hygiene.
Yeah, and you can see 5 days ago it was last pushed. So that's good.
And actually, that is kind of cool. I didn't know who Lee Rob was. So
Isn't that cool?
I think that's very cool. And that makes, my heart pitter patter because we are being introduced to ecosystems and people. And that's important because collaboration is the next currency. So I kind of feel rich right now. I do. I'm not going to lie, Ross. That's pretty cool.
I didn't know that either, but shouldn't we look and see if it works in our environment?
Close, but no.
Okay.
So like first we got to figure out what it is, right? So it says tech stack. That's the first thing you gotta look at. So like where does this information go in this code? Do you know? So which file here would have things that are like secrets?
What do you mean? I would do the README file first. I don't know.
You gotta know.
Well,
Look at the screen.
yeah.
Which one of these files contain what I want? You have to know how to suss this out. Any developer, you must suss this out within 10 seconds of hitting
Is-
a repo.
I don't know. Is it the lib file? I don't know.
Lib, where do you see lib, bro?
Okay, I see it.
here?
here. Yeah.
So it's not a folder. It's one of these.
The readme.md.
Well, no, because that's here. Doesn't really help us. Which file here do you think is super important that we need to look at right now?
I don't know.
If you don't know,
The license? The MIT license?
Tailwind?
I would say
Or-
Tailwind or package.
Tailwind, yeah, or package, exactly.
So license is important. It's MIT. So that means we could do what we want with the software. It could turn into whatever we want. That's what that means. But no. First rule is if it's hidden, it's somewhat important, right? So hidden means dot. So if there's a dot anything, it's hidden.
You mean-
Then out of those dots, one of them is like ridiculously important that if you don't know how to suss that out, you can never develop software.
Do you mean the ENV file or what?
Thank God.
.ts.
Gary woke up.
It's got to be that, Sherry.
It is.
It's got to be that.
Yeah, I'm glad Sharon decided to wake up. So this file, look at it. What does it say? So what can we suss out from here? What do we need?
We need Stripe.
And
We need Stripe and our secret keys.
okay, what else?
I don't know what the heck Postgres is. I don't know, but we need that too.
All right, well, we're
It's
gonna
an
have to put it down to
SQL.
Twitter. We're gonna say to O1, hey, I wanna build this. Now, a lot of people, they're like, how do you use AI to develop? I'm like, y'all, it's so easy. Look, you just go like this and go here. And I'm like, oh, I wanna build this? Great. Copy this whole thing. There we go. And then I just paste it in like that. And this is what happens. It's gonna think because O1 needs to think, or it will be very angry.
Do you want us to use O1? I'm using Claude. Do you want us to use O1?
It doesn't matter what you use, whatever you got in AI Tutor, as long as you're using developer. Developer here is gonna be what's important.
Yeah, I'm using that.
Sharon, and one of the other things that I do when I'm doing these kinds of projects is I also say, not only do I want to build this, but how can I frack it up? Meaning what should I look out for? What are the red flags? Because that way I know that I can kind of mitigate around those little, traffic cones that my AI tutor is putting up for me. So if this is completely foreign to you and you're just looking at it, you're like, I really don't want to be Doc Ock. I don't want to be building a nuclear reactor in the middle of, New York or something. This is the kind of moment where you think about it is you're like, what other things can I get into trouble with? And that my AI tutor and these large language models are actually really good at doing that. They're saying, hey, we're going to teach you how to build it. By the way, what are the red flags that I should be looking out for? How can I screw this up? And it's amazing at what it will tell you. It'll tell you all sorts of things and how you can screw it up. And pay attention to that because what those are little safeguards and rails to make sure that you're being a responsible coder because that's the other thing. You don't want ugly code. That's just the way it is because it'll come back and haunt you.
And right now, it just kind of overviewed everything. But what we're gonna tell it is we're gonna say, so now this is what I normally do. And I do this so it like understands everything. So now we're gonna say, what popular services should I use for Postgres? Also, what in the good Lord is Postgres? Seriously. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna ask it like what popular services, because we gotta have this before we do anything. So forget building, nothing. We need to figure out Postgres because that matters.
Ross, do we have access to O1 Mini in Plus? Is it limited or can we use it to oblivion?
Oblivion.
Okay.
The other thing too is that when you're asking it for a definition like that, make sure you're putting that in your Notion stocks or your Obsidian or whatever Ludite notebook you have on the side, right? The terms that you don't normally know, just to joggle your memory because you want to make sure that you're leaving yourself breadcrumbs for your future self when you have to unravel it and try to fix it because guaranteed you're going to try to fix it. So, be very kind to your future self by being diligent and doing the hard work now so that you can have those breadcrumbs later.
Not just that, Sarah, we have Bookify, right? That means
I
you can make
love
a book.
Bookify. Yes,
So
I
all the
know that's the
data,
cool
that,
thing.
everything that you're gathering now, every request that you're sending to your AI about this project, you can make a book. And that'll be your little manual, right? And your little, thing that you can
so
always come back to.
ridiculous that you could do that, Sharon.
It's
so
perfect.
crazy.
It's so awesome.
Yes.
It's like your own little mini textbook about what you're experiencing.
Well, a lot of times, I mean, when you think about how websites and things were built way back when, you had a graphic and it was kind of like a logbook. And so, in this sense, each of your projects could have its own book and have its ability to just, pull it off the shelf and say, okay, this is what I need. I see that Julie Todd has come up. How are you, Julie? And did you need anything right away before Ross continues? I'm taking that as a no, or maybe as a yes. And go ahead, friend.
Sorry, I'm switching back and forth between screens. What? Hold on, just one second. Let me get back to where I was at. In GitHub, when you went to the section that you copied and pasted, what was that?
The README.
README. Okay. All right. Thank you. That was all.
Can I Can I ask Kirk something? Kirk, would you do JSON to save these things? Would you do it in JSON or not? I just want to ask this question, the JSON master.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're because already in AI Tutor right there, you go and save that chat, and you've got a JSON to work with. So
Cool.
always back up your chats. Don't just let them sit there in the cache.
Okay.
Also, just for like my own knowledge, can you do an emoji if you're actually following along? It's okay if you're in like podcast mode. I'm really genuinely curious.
I have forked and I have cloned to the local system. So
Like
I
if you're
am-
following the live stream, do
You
an
bet.
emoji. Yeah, that's so cool. If you're not, it's cool, but like you guys should. This is crazy. This is what companies were made from. Like you think you want to make it your MVP, this can skip all the way from MVP to like fully functioning application. You just need to know the right tools and you need to make the right decisions. And we're going to learn how to make some of the right decisions. And some of them, like this current decision that we're going to be faced with right now, has nothing, unfortunately, to do with AI. So this is going to be a decision you have to understand how to make, and we're going to learn about it together. So who knows anything about database companies? Do we recognize anything? Do you guys recognize anything?
Yes.
What do you recognize?
Well, there is one listed.
Superbase and
Base?
DigitalOcean.
Okay.
I saw Amazon in there too. I don't know Heroku, or maybe I do, but I don't.
These are like other services, right? So the one we know is Superbase. Superbase is not a bad option. Anyone know about Superbase? Like how that works?
Not to the level. I'd love to hear you
So-
describe it though.
So here's the thing. Databases are not free, like at all. But some companies let you get away with like a free one, right? Superbase is one of them. But Superbase has like other restrictions too, which it won't affect you now, but it could affect you later. It affects how many times you can hit the API before you got to pay them $25. My recommendation is not using any of these recommendations. So I'm going to say, I don't know if it'll know about this. So we're going to have to do a quick switch with the new search bar, because now you don't have to scroll. We can get an online model and say, what about Neon? Yeah. What about Neon instead of Superbase? So Neon is a company that works with Vercel. So on Vercel, you can make a database and they'll charge you, but really you're just going to use Neon. So here's the thing, we could use Neon instead of Superbase and evade all the payment limits, right? And we get one database for our app and it'll be fine. No one will have to pay anything. You can see why you should choose Neon. And I didn't just ask GPT because that's dumb. I asked Llama 3.1, which is the online model. So it was able to go online and see like, hey, well, Neon is actually a good choice.
What do you mean Llama has what? What are you
Llama's
talking about?
7 dB online.
We have, I didn't even know that. Okay, good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. New stuff is coming over the next 24 hours. 3.2 is getting into AI Tutor as well. And Gemini 002.
If it doesn't say online, then it's a bad thing.
If it doesn't say it, you got to go to models like this. And you can try going here and hitting refresh. And if that doesn't work, try incognito. Just, or not incognito, clear your cache.
Okay.
And then you could export like this, like I'm doing on live stream. You could export all and then just restart it.
Gotcha.
But I switched because I wanted it to know internet. Did someone just talk?
I did, sorry. I
Oh,
thought it
no,
was a
you're
break.
good.
This
It's a
might
break.
be
What's that?
this might be a step back, but I just wanted to make sure, and if so, we could just sort of skip along. But so I thought we were gonna like make a decision and vote,
Yeah, we're gonna
etc.
do all that. It didn't
Okay,
happen
so
yet.
this is the base piece, right? And so
Yeah,
the
so
thing
we're
that
gonna
we're
see if
doing,
we can like build the base plate of it.
okay,
And if this works, then we're gonna look at a few different repos and we're gonna choose one to build. But we
okay.
have to
And
make
so
sure we
this is,
understand how to do this.
okay, perfect. So this is sort of like a good base, the way you always should sort of maybe start out, and then you're good to go, no matter what other thing you might choose.
Yeah, pretty
Not for
much
this class. Okay, that's what I just
for
wanted to make
anything.
sure. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
Lee Robinson demo is really cool. It's a template to start like building your own projects, and he just created it, and I think it's really, really, really awesome. So I want to go over it here. But yeah, we're
And
gonna go over other things that are not using this, and we're gonna build one of them. But either way we go, honestly, we're still gonna need Supabase or Neon. We're still gonna need Stripe. We're still gonna need Clerk. You know. So if this works and you fully can get this running like right now, then the next part is possible. If you can't get through this, then the next part's going to be kind of crazy for you. Not you,
so
just
this
in
is
general.
so this is very much similar to like when we first started out and doing the tailwind. Like we have to have the tailwind, and you have to have it for pretty much everything. Like it has all
Exactly.
you. Okay,
So
cool.
now we're going to put all that together and see if we can do it quickly. Like this is not a 2 hour thing. Like we're going to be, after we're done here and we get all the pieces, we're just going to deploy it. And everyone has to post their Vercel link, like right now, in the class. You'll see.
Awesome. Good. I'm got everything sorted here.
Okay.
What's the, so
So-
I've already entered, yeah.
So
Prompts.
far, the new thing that we have going on right now, and this is going to be a bit tricky for me because I have a professional Neon account, and they aren't amazing, and you should totally pay them. But for you get it for free, just one. So I need to pick a Google that is not the one with the account.
That's also a really good tip because I have fracked up a number of things actually by having an existing account, like an existing Stripe or an existing,
No,
if
that
you
one will
want to
save you.
play.
Stripe will get you though. You're right. No, Stripe is the only one that will actually like mess with you because that's money.
Exactly. And
You gotta
it
be
has an
careful there.
identifier. So you do want to make sure that this is for real this time. It's not like we're in a digital playpen. We're not. We're out in the wild. We're on a safari, right? With a tour guide, yes, but it's not the same bumpers that we've had in the previous sessions. So, these are kinds of decisions that when you make them, for instance, there are a couple where you probably will have to have a credit card, but it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be like maybe $10 or something. But these are all pieces to your business. So that's why in the beginning we had mentioned you have to know what your why is. You have to know why you're here. And these are for real kind of moments. So, you know, sometimes if you're not ready quite to pull the trigger, fine, get to that point where you're almost there. But those are kind of questions and things that you have to think about yourself. And there's no pressure necessarily. If you just don't have the dinero at that point, you keep along and you continue to follow along and keep going through the steps and making sure that you can get as far as you can. And then when the time comes that you can pull that trigger, then you can do it. But and we understand that. We understand that this is a big commitment. You're already paying subscription fees to everything else, but this is your business. And at this point, this is a real living thing. And if you have an ISBN number, or not ISBN number, EIN, where you have a taxpayer ID, where you have your Stripe account, these are the things that you're putting in place on purpose, right? So yeah, you want to make sure that the streams aren't crossed if you already have existing accounts, and understand what the ramifications are if you do have an existing account, because at this point, guess what? You're going to own your mistakes, right? So that's one of the key caveats of this class. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, just a quick question. I can't really see on the live stream. It's small. It is neon.tech, right? Is the URL for
Yeah,
Neon.
Neon.tech. Yeah, I'm just gonna log in 1 second. But yeah.
But we don't need that right away, do we? I mean, you just said it, right? We don't need that
Well,
right.
yeah, you're gonna need it right away.
We're gonna need it right away.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to do Drizzle ORM, and we're gonna have to use Prisma. You need it. Yeah, I'm gonna explain, but we need it.
And we can start off with a free plan then.
You don't have to pay for it. Hey, I didn't say pay for it. I said
Okay,
make an.
okay, make an account, okay.
Now, you guys also really pay attention to, we are flying by a little bit fast. Make sure you have a piece of paper or something on the side where you're paying attention to the primrose path that you're following, right? That there are accounts that you're going to be opening. You are not going to have anybody that can go in the back end and find your, passwords. There's no guardrails. So, you want to make sure that all of those things, and I shouldn't have to repeat it, but sometimes repeating it out loud for myself and for the recorded line helps, because we do have people that are non-English speakers as their first language. And so we want to make sure that those transcripts are kind of clear, because sometimes, you know, we get our paths crossed a little bit, or expectations, aren't crystal clear. They're crystal clear right now, is that you're going to have to follow these steps in order to continue. And in a few moments, you're going to have your post and it'll say, hey, you've done all the steps right. You're up to par, right? But if you can't make that step right away, there's no pressure yet, but there will be, because the rest of the night's going to be kind of difficult. So just so you know that. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and just ask quick questions, like right where Ross is. So the Postgres version, it says 16, and the choices were 14 or 15. Just intuiting, is that like just saying the most recent version? And should we select 16?
Well, I'm actually asking AI.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna go to my AI tutor, see what they say.
Ross, I could ask my AI, but do we want to authorize it with GitHub? Not yet, right? We can do that later, right? Or you wouldn't do that at all?
You mean
Or-
log in with GitHub?
No, well, no, that yes, but it's asking me to authorize, that it can pull select repositories.
Who's asking you?
Neon.
Are you on what? Like, did you choose Postgres version yet or no?
Well, that's where I am.
So you're where I am right now.
Yep.
So what? Right now, we're not doing anything. I'm asking AI
Okay,
tutor. Which
sorry.
one
Okay.
Somebody
Folks, this is
push
super
the link
important.
up into the nest for this domain, because that is illegible currently.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good idea. Hold on.
Yeah, post that. But also, folks, be very, very careful. I know that you are all go-getters, and you click, click, click. That's really, who we are. We're button pushers, right? Don't go any further until Ross says so, because there are some steps that you might not be able to go back, right? And so, in pushing it and saying, yes, we know what he's doing, and we can kind of suss out and make an educated guess where he's heading, is Ross. Ross is an caffeinated squirrel that we all have to chase. And so we want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. I love you, Ross.
Okay, so I posted it, and so basically, AI tutor says that the main difference is speed, and like that, there's no doesn't find any reason why we should. So we're just gonna do 16. So if you're at the screen, you want to name it like something. So I named it Vercel template. You can name it whatever you want, honestly, because at the end of the day, we're probably going to delete this database and use a different one anyways. And name it. Don't worry about naming. Just do it. Just actually click the thing, hit create. More options. You don't need to change, because we don't even know what this is, unless this is what you're talking about. Is this what you're talking about, Sharon? Would you hit?
No, it's the next step after that.
Okay, so don't worry about the naming. We want to stay right here. We're gonna hit create, right? And then your interface should look like this. And then it's instant automatic branch of your okay. So who's gonna have a big brain and tell us what this means? Let's figure it out. Come on, Sherry. What's going on here? What is this? What does this mean? This is new. So
I think I've got it.
you think you got it? Okay.
I really have no idea. I'm like walking through a forest, just following the lantern. But I think it has to do with differentiating ourselves from the any other version of it. So it's kind of like freezing it in time, right? Like where if there's a pull request for the data in the database.
Okay, now here's where your brain is gonna melt a little bit. So what's different? Why Neon is like game changer, like light years ahead of everybody. No matter what company you could use, Neon's better. Neon just came out of general alpha. They are now in general public rollout. I've been an alpha and beta subscriber. I've paid them since they had 2 followers on Twitter. They have been the single greatest database platform we've ever used for a few reasons, not like 100, just simply a few. One, you know when you go to GitHub and you like make a change to your app and then it changes on itself? Who remembers that? You guys remember that? That's called
Yes, I do.
CI/CD. Right. You know where that doesn't exist, Sharon? Does not exist
No.
in a database. So if you like, as Sarah says, frack up the database data, that's it. It's done. It's over. Like if you don't have a backup, you're done. Now, Neon comes in and they're like, well, what if we took the GitHub thing and we brought it to the database thing? So now every day you get a new branch, just like GitHub. And it means that you can go back to a version of your database yesterday because there's branching. And if you were making changes to your database, you make a branch and test it. Now, the implication of this on our project, not sure at this point, but we don't need it at this point. But in the future, you would want to enable this, but we don't need to at this point right now. So we're going to skip it. But isn't that cool that Neon has version control of databases? So like you can see on my screen, this is what it looks like. It's like main, and then there's a branch, dev student. Do you see? I can have different branches. And I can connect to any code in the whole world. It's honestly really good. They run, I would say 80 to 90% of AI Tutor. Database wise. In Pixio, it's a little bit different. It's Firebase. But for AI Tutor, we are using Neon.
You know, it's interesting too, because when you asked my AI tutor about the importance of the Postgre or Gress, I don't know how you say it, but when it mentioned all of the different things that it can automatically connect to and play nice with, that is a very forward thinking kind of accessory or feature, I think, because having those breadcrumbs already in place makes sense. So I think that's really, really cool.
It is really cool. And what's even cooler is they know exactly what we want. So if you're looking at the live stream, like it's so crazy. It's a developer built system. You know, it says like they were built with EX, not UX. It's a same 2 letters, same X, but it's different first letter. One's for users, hence the UX. One's for developers, hence the DX. DX is super important for tools that are built for engineers. So for this, DX is awesome because if I'm using like Next.js or Prisma or Postgres or Django or Symfony or Java, it all works. I can even install like a vector database to save like AI stuff. So crazy. And it's all done via CLI. So you can connect to your database and manage it right from the command prompt, which is what we're going to do. And we need Postgres, right? But we have no idea what to do. So you're here.
Hey, I have a question real quick. What is CLI? I know this acronym, but I can't find it, and I'm kind of freaking out a little bit about it because I was like, I've heard this before, but can you refresh my memory just to make sure so I can write it down again?
Wait, what do you want me to do?
What was CLI that you just went right over?
Oh, command line interface.
Thank you. I should know this, but sometimes it's like, you know, it's like FOMO or whatever else. It's like text speak and I lose it. So thank you. Go ahead,
One second
continue,
here.
friend. Or are you working in the background?
I'm just fixing something on my other screen. We're good.
I want to make sure, Haley down there below, did you get past your fork issue? Because I did see your DM a little late, and I want to
Oh,
make
by the
sure
way,
that
guys, feel free to come up, and you don't have to like DM and comment. Just come join the stage. Seriously.
we have all of the proper links, and taking screenshots is super helpful. If you can put the screenshots and then purple bubble it, because what ends up happening is it gets connected to this recording and folks can actually see it, because we have a lot of future dwellers, and those are people that live in a different time zone. So they will come in tomorrow morning in our postmortem at 11 Eastern Standard Time. So about 12 hours after we close out the space, give or take, because sometimes we can, close it early or whatnot. But the fact is that if you connect those and have them tagged in the bottom, you're doing a huge pay it forward to future dwellers and fellow students. So it's always very helpful, and it helps us understand where you're stuck. So if that makes sense, and if you're not a part of the Slack channel, because a lot of folks have the Slack channel open also, so you have lots of tabs. So I just wanted to say, make sure that you are where you're supposed to be. If you can give a thumbs up, that would be cool. Okay, continue, Ross.
Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So, if you take this, right, you gotta make sure you do password on. And it's okay that I'm showing my password. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna delete this. So don't worry about it. So I'm saying, I don't know if you guys, can you read? Yeah, you can read. Okay. So I'm saying, okay, what do I do with this? I don't know what to do. So we're gonna see what it says. Oh, look, perfect. That's literally what we need. Do you guys see this? This is amazing. This is identical to what you need.
When he has these connection strings posted, when it tells you exactly what you need, um, for those that this is completely foreign, you can ask even afterwards, say, why does this matter? Or what do I need to know about it? And it'll fill in the blanks for you.
Okay.
Really train yourself to lean heavily into your AI cohorts and collaborators, because the more that you become acclimated in terms of working side by side with that collaborator, the more easier things are going to be, right? You want to make sure that at every step, nothing is too small and nothing is too big, right, to ask them. And it's important because you're augmenting your skill set. For many of us, this is not our primary skill set or discipline. And what you're doing is you are really trying to understand the reasoning behind it, because just clicking and saying, okay, do it for me, is not going to help you when you need to fix it. So you want to make sure that you are doing the quid pro quo as you go. So I just wanted to make sure to put that out there too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And guys, with Stripe, we're going to be operating in test mode. So you're going to see a lot of weird test mode warnings for us. But for yourself, feel free to operate in live mode. But just make sure
But if you're really super scared, test mode's okay.
test mode's okay. Yeah, yeah. But if you want to actually turn this into something that could make you revenue, you need to get out of test mode. So I would work on that like after class.
Ooh, that's a T-shirt right there, Ross. Get out of test mode. Just
Honestly,
one quick
that's
question.
definitely a t-shirt. That's for
Yes,
sure a t-shirt.
yes, merch store. So question slash confirmation. Just a little bit back
Wait,
to
wait, hold
the,
on.
yeah.
Don't forget this, Dan. One, DM me for Nick's points that he's giving you. Don't forget that. And also, we are actually launching a merch store experiment, but it's not like we're buying t-shirts and things. But I had a friend who showed me how to do something that he partnered with a company. So I was gonna try it out. And so Dan, if you want to come up with some ideas, we can actually use Pixio to like make the shirts wearable and design them, and then they'll print them and sell them.
Hey Ross,
It's
I
a
already
you
have a
problem.
folder. Yeah, I already
Good,
have a
good.
folder for that.
Good. So we're
Yeah.
gonna have to talk about that for sure.
Right, but just
Yeah.
very specific, quick question,
Yeah,
slash,
sure.
main point. So for the databases and these branches, I noticed that I had, there was a dotted line around the dev slash then my branch name. So I had to click on that to actually create the branch. That's what we want to do, right? Like not create on the main, but create on our little branch. Just confirming that, like back
On
in Neon,
GitHub or on database?
in Neon.
So on Neon, it looks like that. So your screen should look like that. It should say your name here, and then this would be your database, and then you don't need to go on branch. You can go on main.
Okay, cool.
So branch would be like, so you about to deploy a new feature, right? And you want to like deploy it and see what it's like in real time with customers, but you don't want to like possibly corrupt yours. You can deploy on the dev student one instead, and then you can easily swap back and forth for testing.
I'm interrupting real quick. Cash Money Kev, can you see Haley's request? They want to come up. Or Matea, either or.
I just accepted her request. She should be up. Hi, Haley.
Excellent. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, Ross. I just want to make sure that we have all of our speakers, and even now that Haley's up, she's still listed, or they're listed as a speaker or a listener. So there is a Twitter glitch. So if you are
Well, let's
asking to
see
come
what
on
I
up,
see. Hold on.
yeah, we want to make sure that we can see
Oh,
you.
I see speaker.
It's working now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Excellent, excellent. I apologize for the delay. Um, Twitter is not being my friend today, so, but thank you. Did you want to say something to Russ just while you're up here? Introduce yourself too as a new speaker.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited to be involved with this. My name is Hallie, and I'm just so excited to meet all of you. So thank you.
Wonderful. I'm glad to see you here. It's always wonderful meeting new folks. And did you get your fork to work? Did it work actually?
Not yet, but I'm about to send a DM to Alisher. He said that he would let me know how to do it. So thank you. I appreciate
Well,
it.
Yep.
there you go.
There you go. You're already one of us, poking and prodding. You'll get there. But just, chime in if you have any struggles, okay? Excellent. Continue, Ross.
And Dan, check this out. So look at what AI Tutor is telling me. So it's saying that we could use this database. It's giving Node and it's also giving Python. You see, it knows that you would potentially use it
happy.
in both.
So happy.
And it could. This could be used in both. So the whole idea, guys, behind the way we're building is we're not going to silo ourselves to like one particular server or service. We're going to build serverlessly. So everything's going to exist everywhere. And just like AI Tutor and Pixio, if one of these services, screw the pooch and go down, you can just boot up another database somewhere else. And that's why knowing that there's like Neon and there's Supabase, is really helpful. Like I remember Pixio went down for some reason with Firebase, and then Alisher booted up locally and was about to put it on a different database. And then all of a sudden it came back up and it worked. So the thing is, you won't have to worry about actual servers, physical servers that you're paying for monthly. Most of the services, if not all the services, minus like the obvious, like AI, you're not really going to pay for. Even in production, AI Tutor is still free, which is crazy. Like I have a lot of services that are on the free tier because most of the time, your little SaaS or micro SaaS or small, medium SaaS is not enough to take up like paid versions yet. Once you have like 500 users, that's when your expectation is you can transition to paid. Unless you need like a specific feature. So, all right, so we're pretty much done. Here's Stripe. We need these two things, and we got Neon. Now we build. Now the fun part. This is where it's going to go kind of fast. So I'm going to give everyone a breather of 5 minutes to catch up. But we are going to move fast. So if you're just joining or you need a second, you got your breather minute. If you have a question, join as speaker. We will be utilizing AI the whole way, so you don't need to be a developer, but you need to like learn to think like one, and that's what this is, right? Like you're not going to ingest 70 years of development, the whole world. You're not going to ingest 10 years of development, but you're going to learn how to think analytically and answer and find the answers to the questions that you have with the resources that you have access to. That's what we're going to do.
Okay, Ross, so where should we be? Stripe setup?
No,
Neon
well,
setup?
so there's no
Okay.
setup. Neon gave me a key and Stripe gave me a key.
Well, we logged in and just got prepared. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way. Okay.
Now the next step, no one has any questions, you guys ready?
You got where did you get the neon key and when did I miss that? And the stripe
So
key.
they gave
Like
it
I
here,
have, yeah, okay.
and then I asked AI Tutor what to do with this, and then AI Tutor was like, "Here you go, dude. That's what we need."
Ross, you also have a question from Rutro.
Sure.
Real quick too, just to fill in, we do have a number of neurodivergent folks in the audience. We get it and we understand. If it is going too fast, you know what? You have this timestamp that you can use for your Twitter space so that you can kind of grab little pieces and index exactly where you're going off if you need to digest that information, right? And the other thing too is that this is all recorded, so you can always go back and look at it through your leisure. So if it starts to tire you out or whatever, just know you better than us, and don't feel obligated or anything else if it goes past you, but you can always revisit this. So, and we always have a class also on Thursday morning. So just so you know that, I want to put it on the recording and give you a gentle hug because I know that some of you are struggling, and it's okay. This is one of those uncomfortable moments. This is the, itchy sweater from the dryer, or, the wet blue jeans that you're trying to squeeze yourself into, right? It'll stretch, but you have to go through that uncomfortable moment first, okay? So just hang tight. You got this. I'm going to tell you, you got this. So just don't quit. Don't quit. Rutro, go ahead, honey.
Well, I think you just answered me. I completely spaced out on the stripe. I didn't even see that happening. But I have a bit of a delay on my end. So I'm just sort of, I think at this point, I'm going to delay doing things and just sort of watch. So, and when will this recording be available? Like,
So I would say don't do that. I would say
okay.
like power through it. I would not.
Okay.
I would not. I do not recommend that because there's nothing better than being like, "What do you got to do here, Ross?" with your voice, and then I'm like, "Here's what we're doing." Your delay is only 5-10 seconds. It's not that bad.
Well,
So
I'm
whatever
having some
question you
internet
have,
issues. So
yeah, you can
I
just
missed
ask
the
it.
stripe
Like
thing. I
it's
missed
just
the
go
stripe
to
thing.
Stripe. Just
Uh-huh.
go there, and you're gonna get keys. There's gonna be keys on the page when you get there
Okay.
in test mode. And test mode, you don't even got to sign up for anything. So it's like super easy. Turn on test mode.
Oh,
The
I
screen,
remember that. Okay,
yeah,
thank
the
you.
screen's gonna go like orange, and you're gonna get 2 keys. Takes 1 second.
Where
Rutro,
are the
you
keys
got
at on the
this.
interface at?
So I'm putting it on stream now and give the delay a few seconds. Also, I'm gonna go grab a drink, so we're gonna get started in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But here's the keys. I'm zooming in so you can see. You're gonna want to keep all of these things sort of open. We're gonna need to go and get things from everything.
So, folks, while Ross is taking a break, we do understand the delay in terms of the audio, and it can drive you nuts. If it's something that is really, really bothering you, come up and be a speaker, because then you'll have it in a real time situation, and it can help, right? It's just a help. It doesn't necessarily solve the issue, but social audio is like that. There's always a delay. And when you're also toggling the screen that you see via our live stream, you're always kind of glitching yourself into little moments, right? And we understand that. So if something is moving too fast or whatever, just take a deep breath, and you can always slow it down later, and do your best in terms of keeping up, because the other thing is that you don't want to be so far behind that you're looking at it and then it becomes overwhelming and you give up, because that's the worst. You have to understand and know and believe in yourself, because you've learned most of this stuff, It's now trying to put it all together. So you have all of the pieces to this beautiful cake, and it's sitting in front of you, and you have to, now build it. And sometimes those ingredients will end up to be a cake. Sometimes they'll be a souffle. Other times they'll be a brick or a doorstop. They can turn out in all sorts of ways. But give yourself some grace. Take a deep breath. And this next step, if you're feeling uncomfortable, put it in test mode. But I will tell you, like Ross said, you have to get out of test mode eventually, and you have to, fish or cut bait, as they say, or crap or get off the pot, depending on which, grandparent told you what you had to do. You have to make that decision. You can't sit on both sides of the fence. So it's one of those moments. And if you need folks to, egg you on, we are here to help you, spur you on, and summon that courage, right? You have to be a risk taker in order to be an entrepreneur. And you have to be a tad crazy to love code. I will just tell you, there's something in your DNA that makes you a little bit wonky, and embrace that wonkiness, okay? So we
And
have,
and Sarah, I
go
just
ahead.
want to piggyback off you too. It's remember, guys, our first season when we were all getting used to Vercel and getting used to into our flow state for coding, guys. That's really what we need to lean into, and just battle through the roadblocks in your mind, because I know it's something that you haven't done before. You haven't even seen Python, and I know because I've thought about it myself for years. I know the thoughts that are going through your head. You're thinking, oh, how do I even read Python, or how do I keep up with all this stuff? And don't even worry about it. Don't stress yourself out. We're gonna get it done. You can always come back to these replays. Dan, I saw your hand was up first, and we'll go to you first, and then we'll go over to Sharon.
Just a real quick Sonic bookmark of something that I pledged at the season 3 finale. I'm making little one sheets for each of these classes, and it's really just for me, but I know that people can benefit from visuals. So that's something that, if it's okay with the team, I'll share securely in Slack. It's nothing I would post, but we gotta be that team for each other. And so I would love to just make sure people know that if you need a one sheet, like step-by-step visual, I got you. I'm taking screenshots. I'm going to make it pretty, and it'll just, that's another reason to get.
Your
Okay, so
audio was breaking up there, Dan. Go
I
ahead.
just need the steps on the stripe is if you see that over there on the right hand side of the screen, the left hand right hand side of the screen, those keys are where you right click on those and copy and get those. So that's where we're at.
Thank you, Kirk. You are awesome. Sharon, go ahead. And yeah, go ahead, Sharon.
Kirk, that strange link on Neon, that's going to be our password, I think. That's our key, I guess.
That link on that thing, yeah, throw that in the AI tutor. Matter of fact,
Understand.
any of this stuff, any of this stuff,
Okay,
just what Ross is doing, throw it into AI tutor. That way you can
I
track
did
it.
that. Okay, cool. Good.
Now, just for a temperature take here in the audience, how many people are struggling through this without my AI tutor and are using, either Claude or Llama or another tool on the side, just so we can have a visual on who is doing it a little different? Because I think most of you are in my AI tutor if I was to be a betting person. But just so you know that if you are using other models to aid and abet your chicanery, that's perfectly cool. It's just going to take you a little bit different route. You'll get there eventually. And like we said in the very beginning, you're kind of doing this project on hard mode, but it's not saying that it's impossible. So you'll get a gold star at the end, and obviously level up, just like everyone else does. How you get there is how you get there. But I want to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind because they don't have the accessibility to a model, because there's lots of AI or large language models that you can try for free. Now, granted, they're not going to be as robust, and you're not going to get the to be able to use it all the time. You only get a couple one and dones sometimes, but where there's a will, there is a way. So pay attention to your why and remember why you're building this. And then it'll help you grudge and trudge through the trenches here as we progress this evening. Ross, are you all ready to go, hun?
Oh, I'm ready. So now we have this, and we need to actually get this to computer. So we have to use this and use GitHub Desktop. Now, if you don't have GitHub Desktop, you usually get GitHub Desktop. If you don't have it, you're gonna have to download the code, and it's just like kind of more annoying. So I highly suggest a GitHub Desktop. This is something you should have installed already. We're not gonna go through the installation process, but if you don't have it, be part of the crew that has it and just hit the button and download it. But for me, I do have it, so this is what it looks like, right? So we're gonna clone it and bring it into the computer. Do you want to contribute or for your own? You're gonna say for your own purposes. You're not trying to contribute to this open source repo at all. And then we're just gonna open it in VS Code, and that's it. And then our screen looks like this. So if you're here right now, you have followed directions up to this point, and we are going to start configuring this application, running it, and then sending it to Vercel.
I'm interrupting real quick. Cash Money Kev, can you add the link to my AI tutor up top in the nest for our visitors here in the space tonight? If you do decide to buy my AI tutor, make sure you're using the code ITT. That's, you know, the letter ITT, so that you have 20% off. We want to make sure that you get all of your discounts. So continue, Ross. I apologize for the interruption.
Yeah, so basically you want to make sure that it looks like this. So if you're not up to this point, you need to become a speaker so we can get you to this point. This is about 3 steps prior to being deployed. So we're about 3 steps away from deployment here. So if you're not here, you need to figure out how to get here. So please jump on speaker and talk to me, and I can help you out.
Yeah, I need
Distribute.
help.
Who's talking?
Holly, me.
Okay. Where are you?
I'm on GitHub on the space that you were at right before you clicked to take it to desktop, if I'm correct.
Okay, so why don't you, there's a button right here, the code button, and it says download, open with GitHub Desktop. So you would have to download that file first and then click that button again. So do you see the screen where I'm at on live stream?
Yeah, it's just delayed, so it's going through right now.
Okay. I'm gonna get.
Yeah, when we want to be opening our fork, that's really important.
Yeah, and the reason why this step is super important is because if we commit code to Lee Robinson, that will be bad. Because it'll cause a whole bunch of things to happen. He'll get emails, and then you're just gonna be like, delete it. So, but basically, if you're on the GitHub repo, assuming you haven't hit fork, did you hit fork, Haley? Holly?
I hit the I hit the code, and then it took me to the GitHub desktop, and now it's
Yeah,
just showing me the code.
Did you download the GitHub desktop?
Yes, I did.
So then you got to go back to the GitHub, right? And you got to refresh and hit the green button again.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, this is on your fork, correct? Not Lee Robinson.
Correct.
All right, then you're good. Then you're safe. So you should be here. You hit code, you hit open with GitHub Desktop. Then if you installed GitHub Desktop will then automatically open now.
Okay, it's working now. Thank you.
So once you get it in GitHub Desktop, you want to hit open in Visual Studio Code.
Ross,
Yep.
I just pulled the folder and that was okay, or not?
So it's not that it's not okay, it's that you won't be able to push. So you want to do it the right way so you can just send it back to GitHub.
Okay.
So you want to hit the code button and you want to hit open with GitHub Desktop then do that, and then hit open in VS Code. You could do the other way. You're not wrong, but it loses the CI/CD connection, so you won't be able to like hit a button and send your changes up to GitHub. So I
Okay.
suggest doing it the CI/CD way, but your way actually would work too. So if you want to like ignore me and do it your way, you can. It'll still
No,
work.
since we're gonna push it, I'll just do it that way.
Well, pushing it will be a little interesting for you. So for you, it would be like dragging folders onto github.com because you can't push from
Oh,
desktop.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just did it. It's all good now.
Okay, cool. So now when you if your screen looks like mine, you're good. So like everyone on stage, hopefully your screen looks like mine. If it doesn't, let's get you there. Because we have to understand this process or the next process is insane.
Real quick, Ross, do you have the Stripe link attached to anything in the either in my AI tutor or not my AI tutor in Innovations Think Tank or in the Slack channel, just to be sure?
Okay, here's the thing. If you go to the repo in the README, when you scroll down, it lists all the things there.
That's what I
including Stripe.
thought. So that's the safe link.
Mhm.
Excellent. Starboss, did you get that? I think she did. I'll make sure. Go ahead, continue, Ross.
You want us to open terminal? Is that as well? Open up terminal?
What, Kirk?
I think he wants us to have terminal open as well.
Yeah, we're gonna
I see
need
that down
terminal.
there.
Yep. So is everyone here? Because we're gonna have to do some stuff. So first, AI Tutor gave us a variable. So let's go get that. Good. Now we're gonna go back to terminal and we're gonna put in the real database. So Postgres URL is what they call it. And what we call it is database URL. So we need to take what AI Tutor created, right? And we need to actually replace it here, and we need to put it here. You see? Now you'll notice they're a little bit different. This one did not have the quotation, you see? So we're gonna do no quotation because it doesn't have quotation. And so then we can delete this because we don't need database URL, it's Postgres URL. That's like our first major change. So it should look exactly like what mine looks like, env.example. This is literally super important, guys.
Yeah, but I didn't do that change. I mean,
So do it. What are you waiting for, Christmas?
well, I give AI Tutor the link and say, make it, what do you want me to do?
No, you take exactly what it gave you. And you're putting
I'll
it, it's called,
just take what Neon gave me and put it in there.
yeah,
Oh, okay, well, okay.
yeah.
Sharon, Merry Christmas. I'm just kidding. I know how hard it is. You're
And my
doing
emojis
great.
are
You're
not
doing
working
great,
right
honey.
now. Oh, yeah, now they're working, cool.
Okay, now it says
It's
it
the
wants
delay.
Stripe.
It is the delay. So yes, just give a 2 seconds, Ross, so that folks can catch up because there
Yeah,
is a
totally.
delay. Okay, cool. 2 seconds.
3 seconds.
Okay, that sounds about right. Okay, now you can work on the next piece.
So now I'm just pasting in Stripe stuff at this point. We're almost there, people. We're about to be live in 10 minutes. You guys ready?
Ross, can I ask you something? Why the hell does yours say AI Tutor? Oh, you already had an account. Okay, that's why, right?
Well, does yours say Neon?
Yes.
Somebody didn't name it.
Well, should I? Does it matter?
No, my first like 10 projects ever in Neon, all of them were named Neon because I forgot you could change it when you create a database.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep it like that now, but I'm gonna
No,
write.
keep it. Who cares? Who
Okay.
cares? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just hilarious because I've done it. Like I feel you. You're just like next, 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 and you forget like it's gonna call it Neon. It's funny.
Well, those of us that are feral Gen Xers, neon is in our blood. So I will just say embrace it. Embrace the neon, folks. Just do it. You can even spray your bangs up high and put some jelly bracelets on for good show.
It's true.
You're too young. You missed the neon phase, but now you can call everything neon. You can own it, Ross. I think we have everybody almost caught up. I think we've got it going on here. Can I have a thumbs up from everybody that they're all on the same page? If you're totally frustrated, you can give me some sad face emojis. Haley, okay. We want to make sure. Okay, so we have a handful of sad voices.
If
and we
you're
don't want
sad faces, come join the, come join talk.
Haley's up top. She's up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Just let me
so
know what's going on.
okay, so I got it into GitHub, but now I'm at a point where it says no local changes. And it's just showing me a screen. I'll post it in the purple pill.
Yeah. Would you see a button or anything?
It says in the left corner summary required in the description and then commit to main.
I'm looking for your screenshot. Are you in GitHub desktop?
Yes, I'm gonna post it right now.
Yeah, so there should be a button that says open in VS Code. Unless you don't have VS. Do you have VS Code?
I don't even know what that is, so no.
That's why. Download VS Code.
Okay.
We'll make sure. Haley is new to our group,
Yes.
and she is in
Somebody
the deep
hit-
end of the ocean. So we'll make sure. to
Yeah,
put
no, it's good.
VS
It's good.
Code.
It's easy. So, Haley, just hang on. So,
We'll
Kirk
put it up
is
in the
gonna
nest.
send you a DM of VS Code and Node.js, right, Kirk?
Yes, I indeed will.
So just
send
click those two
That was
things
forced
and
humor.
download them, and you're good. That'll
Oh.
get you to where you need to be. So just kind of pause, wait like 2 minutes. Even though we're gonna move on, you'll still be able to catch up in like 5 minutes. Just install
Yes.
these two things really quick.
And Haley, just take a deep breath. Caffeinated squirrel mode means goblin mode, and you are doing fan-freaking-tastic for your first session. So I just want to commend you. I'm throwing you a rubber duck kind of floaty, so you can just kind of. It has a 42 right in the middle of its forehead. We got this.
In Slack, if you could do me a quick favor, if you could do an invite link for her, that'd be awesome.
Ross, did you ask AI Tutor what the Stripe secret key is and what the Stripe webhook secret is? Because I almost
Absolutely
got
not.
tricked.
That's
What?
crazy.
Because SK, well, hello, you're putting where SK was, you're putting PK, and where PK was, yeah, that's kind of confused me. I just
Wait,
called.
did I do it dumb?
I don't know.
Oh, I did it so dumb, guys.
But you messed up. Oh, I got you.
It's a him problem. It's a him
Shut up,
problem.
guys.
We gotta get a
I
new
just asked
pencil.
AI Tutor to fill out all the
Wow,
lines.
you
I'm
guys.
paying
Okay.
attention. I'm paying
Okay,
attention.
all
I'll
right,
give it
all
this
right.
time.
Sharon wins. Sharon gets 5 points. Whatever.
I get 5 Ross points.
You get a fancy puzzle pencil.
Okay.
Will say it's Ross's
So-
problem.
So, guys, just in case anyone was wondering if I'm real or AI, right? Because there are times where people are questioning it. I'm real. I just made a horrible mistake. Like it asked for a webhook secret, and I gave it a secret key. That's so stupid. That would never work. But I would have figured that out
Well,
eventually.
explain
But
why. Explain why
am.
it doesn't work.
But
Okay, good.
but it's good. Sharon got to clock me on the head. It's good. It feels good, right, Sharon? Smart. That's what happens when you pay attention.
Because I'm paying attention. That's all.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know why I never pay attention. I got 5 Ross points.
Covet those things. Covet them. We're all living vicariously through you, Sharon. You got to bonk them on the head with a flip flop. This is awesome. All right. Continue why we should not do this, Ross. We're going to rub salt in an open wound. And you get to explain everybody why we should not do this and this was a dumb thing.
I will. Hold on. Okay. First of all, if anyone's like here and they don't know what to do, guys, it's really simple. I'm gonna try and answer like some of the DMs like globally. Okay, so first, the Postgres URL, I got like 5 DMs about that. It's just go to Neon. You literally just go to Neon and they're gonna give it to you. As soon as you log in and make a database, they're gonna give you this. That's the first thing. And if you're using AI Tutor, the Postgres, I just pasted it in. I didn't ask for it. So you got to go to neon.tech and you're going to get a Postgres. I did give it to AI Tutor and I said, hey, format this for me. So I had the correct format. So that's how you get databases. So that's for the 6 people that are telling me about Neon. Now, for the people about GitHub, one, make sure you have GitHub Desktop. Make sure you fork it and you're using your forked version and you click open with GitHub Desktop, right? And for the people who say, I can't open with code, download VS Code, download Node.js. Super easy, super Googleable. And people like Kirk have no issue sending you a DM. Other than that, you'll be able to launch in the next 10 minutes. So there's nothing that could hold anyone back. It's simply impossible, malarkey, and I will refute all of it. So if anyone's gonna sit here and say I can't do it, you're wrong. Let me just start you right there. And so just get the 3 things we need. It's like 3 keys, and you don't even technically need Node.js. If you just wait like 2 minutes, you'll be able to launch with just your keys, guys. Serverless deployment. You will not even need Node.js for deployment. It's for editing. You need it for editing. So we could open up the code and edit it, change it, and make it ours. But when we do our first initial launch will have no edits, will not even require you to have anything. It's going to be serverlessly deployed on GitHub. You're going to do that in the next 5 minutes. So make sure you have your Stripe keys and you have your Postgres. We're going to need all of these things. That's the only thing we need.
Before you continue, Ross, I want to make sure that Rutro had her hand up briefly and then not. So there might be a question there, and I want to make sure that she's all kind of on the same page. Rutro, are you okay, love?
Oh, no, I'm not okay, but I'm good. Anyway, my computer died. I got all the way up to where I cloned it, had it VS Code. I'm all good, but then my computer died, and it's from an earlier problem, so I won't be able to fix it during this call. So I'll just have to wait. But I'm following along.
You said your computer's restarting?
No, it's not even restarting.
Oh.
I can't even. Yeah, it's just completely dead. I have some weird Microsoft confusion going on. Yeah.
She's got a
so the
break
next
until
part-
it gets restarted.
Yeah.
That's fine. The next part is on Vercel.com. So believe it or not, it's like crazy. But if you have like your iPad, you can actually
That's what
go
I'm doing. That's what
yeah.
I'm doing.
So what you would do is take yourself over to Vercel.com, get all authenticated, and you're going to be able to participate in this next step, which is going to go live. So you'll have a URL with this template, basically. Because remember, Rotro, a fork exists in the universe, not just in one computer.
That's
So as soon as you hit GitHub, your code's everywhere and nowhere. It's the best.
And for those that do have an iPhone, at least I have an iPhone, you have a GitHub app and it's lovely. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. It's not as robust, obviously. And, it's kind of, it's not robust. Let's just leave it there. But where there's a will, there's a way. And whatever technology you have, you use what's on hand. That's what human creativity is. Okay.
This is
So
true.
go ahead.
Now
ahead,
we're
Ross.
gonna do a quick intro TLDR, 5 minutes of introduction of what in the good Lord have mercy is Vercel. So go to Vercel.com, everyone, make an account, sign in with GitHub, blah blah blah, whatever you want. Just get authenticated.
If you had
Now-
a Vercel for season 1, is that
Oh
good
yeah,
to go?
that works. Yeah, good to go. So Vercel exists in the world and it's really cool. One of my favorite companies right now. I happily pay them for their team plan, even though logistically I don't really need to. I do it because of the support and the instant help when I need it. I've literally had DMs from Guillermo and Lee Robinson themselves in my DMs helping me with problems, and that kind of support, it's unmatched. It's like kind of like when you guys have a problem and like one of us helps you, it's kind of like that. You want that with organizations. And normally you have to pay and be on a paid tier for that, which is okay. So we are on that paid tier and it's like amazing, but what they can offer you today is hosting for free. I know, mind blown, right? And you know what's crazy? I just figured out yesterday, 2 days ago, that you can actually run HTML on Vercel too, JavaScript also, which is insane because that means you can have AI Tutor or yourself, you can write HTML code and just host it live in like 2 seconds. So Vercel is going to allow us to host our code. It's going to allow our functions to run. It's going to allow when you hit the Stripe button that you actually can pay someone, like on your site, you can buy something. It's going to also house all of our function calling to Neon. Now, remember a little bit earlier, I told you about Neon is actually under the hood at Vercel. So Neon's super compatible with Vercel because Vercel actually resells Neon inside Vercel. If you're just signing up today, you're going to find for the first time a place that you can have hosting for free. And it's kind of mind blowing what they're doing. And learning Next.js is a great first step into utilizing these amazing future proof tools. Companies like Netflix, Nike, just to name a few, run on Vercel. We run on Vercel. So AI Tutor serves all the models, millions of tokens to everyone monthly, right? All on Vercel. So great platform. That's your 5-minute intro. Now we're going to actually utilize the coolest part of what we're doing. On Vercel, if it's your first time with everything and you're like, what's going on? This is all new. If you go to where I am in a minute, which we're going to do in a second, but just so you can see, I have it waiting. So if I click import on the latest project, right? Today, next SaaS starter, it actually starts a build and a rollout, a production rollout of your code. How crazy is that? That in the next 10 minutes, everyone here is going to have a production rollout. That's insane. And then if you're in GitHub and you make it and you're on your desktop in GitHub desktop and you make a code change, you push it to GitHub, then Vercel takes that change and makes it production ready. And that is the CI/CD pipeline. Who now understands what CI/CD is? Because that took me forever to understand, by the way. And I wish someone just was like, oh, this is what it means.
What is, just for the record, CIDC when you say it out? So it's not just the letters, because we want to make sure that we put that in the record. Go ahead, Ross.
Continuous integration and continuous deployment. CI/CD.
Excellent. This is really cool. And for folks that aren't developers, having this vernacular, if something is foreign to you, right? Make your own vocabulary list, keep track of it. We do point them out here in the recording on purpose because not all of us speak the vernacular of, geeky, nerdy, typey, Cody loving people-ish, right? So we want to make sure that we have the continuity of language, that we're all on the same page. But thank you, Ross. Go ahead, continue, friend.
So now that we understand that, right, the whole purpose of downloading Node and all this is, and now anyone who doesn't have Node, so all the people that are super new and they can't do this, just like hang tight for like 2 minutes because the next step you can do. So in your code, see where it says env example? Who sees that? Do an emoji if you see env example. Now we're going to target Sharon because it's just fun. So
be nice. I will defend
Sharon,
her.
Thank you.
Sharon, what do we do to this file to make it real? Because it's like kind of bullshit right now.
Do we have to pull it somewhere else?
No, we have to modify it. What do we have to change? Who knows?
Well, there's .env example. We got to put that away and make it a Next.js file. I don't know, something like
Wait,
that.
so, okay, my brain just like slightly broke. What did you just say? Like, start again. You said we need to, it says env.example and then what?
Well, make example away, put example away. We don't need
Like,
example.
make it go away.
Well, we'll
Okay.
just put it, yeah.
Now what? Now what?
Well, don't we have to put something instead after the dot?
Why do you gotta be like an LLM right now, bro? Why do you gotta hallucinate? Just use the facts. You know what you tell me? Ross, hit enter.
Okay, hit enter. Yeah, but doesn't there, nothing else has to go there? Okay, good. Will it read it automatically? Okay.
That's how, because you just got rid of example.
Okay.
Remember in Flutter, remember in all the builds and everything in Python, in Hugging Face, like remember
Yeah.
all of it's the same thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Sound like an LLM. I talk to them too much.
You start hallucinating.
Why you gotta hallucinate like that is the next coffee mug. I'm
Okay.
just gonna say.
Now, things are about to get a little tricky because we kind of we need something that we don't have. Now, imagine you have like a peanut butter and jelly, but like you only have weird, like weird jelly, like organic jelly and no peanut butter and crackers. Like you can't. So that's where we're at right now. We actually can't do anything until we do something. So first, this thing is going to be a problem because we can't get it yet. We need to have an actual URL, which we don't have. This URL is like fake news, right? This needs to be real, but we can't do that because we don't have one. And this has to be real, but we also don't have one. So with this one, where it says auth secret, we're going to target Sharon again. Sharon, what do I do here?
Well, huh? The Stripe secret key, is that correct now or no?
Yeah, but we need a Vercel, right? Is that where that goes?
Well, let's see. So let's go to GitHub. It says nothing, obviously. Oh, look, it says something. Yes. So we can go to AI Tutor because it knows everything now. We pasted the README into AI Tutor. So, hey, bro, what is auth secret? How I get this? Teach me, my friend. Yeah, up close and personal here for you guys. By the way, I use these. I made the text size giant. It's a new feature you could do. It's fun. Really helps in live streams. So it says, oh, I didn't even say it. So I gotta send the prompt. Okay, it's look how nice. I know so many things, guys. Look how cool this is. So it says make one. Look at that, Sharon. So what are we gonna do? Sharon, what do we do? I just copied that.
Well, you just said it, make one. Well, it just made one for you?
No, I gotta run a command.
Mine gave me one. You shouldn't use that, right?
What do you mean?
Well, we have.
Yeah, explain that, Kirk.
It says you can use the value here. You can use this, and then it gave me an auth and a hex code.
Well, did you run
can-
this command?
Yeah, you have to run a command. It's Visual Studio Code.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
No. That was I just an AI tutor. It gave
Oh
me,
no, that'll work.
photos of
AI
it, yeah.
Tutor can do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I can just use the bash one that it's already generated.
Yeah, and you know what's even crazier? You can go to artifacts and you can make like a generator. It's so crazy.
So now explain that again. So I didn't get it.
Everything. So first, if you're using Visual Studio, oh my God, just dropped my phone. If you're using Visual Studio, I had to switch to git bash to run this command. The command is in the GitHub, in the README, or you can ask AI Tutor. And you have to run it. Now, if you don't want to run it, right, you could ask AI Tutor, okay, generate me one. Okay, make it up. There you go. The AI Tutor just made one up for me. That's it.
Well, my AI tutor is saying, generate using Node.js, right? Then I have a JavaScript a command here.
So the thing that you need to realize, everyone, is that there's 3 ways to do it. You can run the command. You can ask AI Tutor to straight up make up characters. You can say, hey, AI Tutor, I know you can't run this, but I want you to like pretend you are this and just generate me a random numbers that equal 32. It'll do it. You just need random numbers here. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys.
Okay,
So,
so, yeah,
yeah.
but if my question, if I'm sitting in front of my AI, right? It's telling
Yep.
me generate using Node.js or
Mhm.
using an SSL in your terminal.
That's what I did.
That's
So
what
I
I'm
ran the
gonna
code.
do. Okay, I'll do it in the
Yep.
terminal. I'm not gonna do it in
But
Node.js, right?
you-
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
use Git Bash though as
Okay.
the
Okay.
actual terminal. And if you're on
Mhm.
Mac, it's called ZHC, some weird stuff. Whatever. You'll see. And again, all else fails, guess what? Go to AI Tutor and say make up 32 string of random numbers. It can be numbers and text. So you see, I have one, I generated one. We need this. This is important. This is how we can like address the users in the code. This is called an auth token. So when you log in, log out, you need this token.
Where do I run this bash? Not in Visual Studio Code?
I ran it in Visual Studio. You just go to
Oh,
Visual Studio,
I go over
open
to
terminal,
open, yeah.
and then you go to the top right where there's an arrow and you choose Git Bash.
That arrow where? Go with your cursor. Yeah, there, okay. Yeah, I did that only once. Okay, cool. I'll do that. Git bash.
Now guys, what we
Okay.
need right here is just this. So what we need right now is to be able to copy this. Like copy paste. So who's with me? You should have number 5 should still be blank. So who has this copied right now? This is where we need to be. If you have this copied,
Agreed. Copy.
if you're in the copy phase right now, you're 5 minutes from launch.
I see that Dan is there. Kirk, did you have something to say, hon?
Do you have to have your Git tied with Vercel, or can you just have a Vercel account?
Nope, you want to have them tied because
Okay.
the next step, guys, is going to Vercel. And this is the screen that you see. And you get to this screen by going to your projects, hitting add new and hit project. Then it's going to show this.
So I have this long string now. My bash gave me this long string and
Wait,
you just
that's the
put it up.
auth token. Yeah.
Yeah, I just put that long string in there without that hex thingy there, just
Exactly.
that string. Okay.
Exactly. Again, it's a randomized password so that no one can hack your system. Because no one wants hackers. All right, so we ready?
Very, very true. Very, very true. I think we are all caught
So
up.
put in like a sad face if you're not on the screen that I'm on right now. Even though you're not sad, but it's fine.
So
I think we lost Haley.
Real fast over the Vercel and hitting your project, your Git. So
I'm here,
or is it up the team on the up left? Okay.
project, and then I'm here.
Okay, Ross, are your keys right now or are your keys still wrong? Are they right? Did you change that?
All my keys are correct except for webhook.
Right, webhook we don't have. Okay, good. That's all I want.
Just 2 seconds, Ross. I want to make sure our friend Haley had to drop down and
You're
I want to
fine.
make sure that she's cool. So we want to make sure she'll come back. Put it that way. Rutro and Julie, are you all okay too? I think they're on iPads anyway. Go ahead, Julie.
I am not okay. I'm in the Code Studio, and I'm a little lost on. Okay, on the keys, you can just put any random key in the secret. I'm confused there.
Take a deep breath. I know it's frustrating. It's okay. Ross,
A
go ahead.
32 character key that you can have AI Tutor generate for you.
Absolutely, yes. You can have it just say AI Tutor, make me a authentic key or code 32 characters long. Hello, everybody.
But okay, on number 3 line, does that same key go in there, number 4, 5, and 7, or just where it says the secret key?
So this is the live stream. Here's what it looks like. This is what the key should look like when you're copying. So copying should look like this.
I don't see your screen.
It's coming.
All right, I got it. I'm
Just
caught up
so
now.
some folks know that if your screen freezes, just refresh because sometimes that does happen. And if you're not seeing it right away, just hit the refresh button. It should be okay.
Okay, I got the screen and
All right.
okay, tell me again, in the Postgres URL, are you putting the same key in all of those spaces, or are you putting different keys in each one?
What do you mean? Postgres is like a whole different thing. That's Neon.
So that generated by.
That's not
maybe I need
generated
to
by AI
refresh.
Tutor. That's actually Neon. You gotta go to Neon to get it.
All right, let me get out of that and then go back.
I also gonna use the
Okay.
bathroom really quick, but Sharon, can you tell Julie how to get Neon really quick in like 2 minutes, and I'll be back.
Do we click import right now with the next
No,
SAS
do
starter?
nothing. Wait
No.
until everyone's
Yes,
together.
sir.
But I'll be back in 2 minutes. If you guys could tell her about Neon, that'd be really helpful.
I have Neon,
Like
Okay,
how to
but I'm just
Postgres.
trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, I have that. I have Postgres URL
Exactly.
equals.
Okay, cool. You got everything. So do you have the Stripe key? If not, we'll do that together. So now grab that link, okay? That starts with Postgres, blah, 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 blah. Copy that. You got it?
Just the link part.
Well, that's all that's there, right? It's a field and there's only that link in there, right? Okay,
That just says Postgres QL.
exactly. And then Neon
Okay.
something, yeah. Go over to, okay, go over to Visual Studio Code.
Oh, wait a minute. I was in Visual Studio Code.
Well, did you already paste it in there? Or what did you do with the link?
No. Okay, in my Visual Studio Code, I have on line 3, Postgres _ URL equals, and then it has highlighted Postgres QL : 2// and nothing else.
Yes, okay, so let's go over to Neon.
Okay, let me go back to Neon. Okay.
And then you should see if there are all those little icons there at the top, right? And then you have a field where there's a link shown that says,
But it says on my Neon, it says GitHub integration, your project is
Okay.
connected.
disconnected.
Okay, hang on.
You're gonna have to,
How do I disconnect?
do you have on the left side dashboard, branches, SQL editor and all of that? Or you're still kind of in the creation process of your account?
Where are you talking about? Oh yeah, I have dashboard, branches, all of that.
Perfect, go to Quick Start.
Uh-huh.
So now you should see a link in a field. There is an elephant and all kinds of other.
Okay, copy all of that.
Copy that link, just that link in the field, right? It starts with Postgres, blah, blah, blah. You got that?
The whole line, that whole
Fine,
line.
the whole line, yes. Okay,
Okay.
then you go to Visual Studio Code and your line 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
After, you got to keep that equals sign. You got to keep that. But after that, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
just copy it all, right? And then enter what you just have, you're going to do copy paste, right? But you got to get that stuff that's in there, that's after that equal sign, right? And
I did that.
okay, and then you put yours on top.
Uh-huh.
So then,
And then it goes to the Stripe.
perfect. Okay,
key.
wait a minute. Just click save just to be on the safe side, right? That we don't lose it again.
Okay, but when I did that and hit enter, it like took away what was in line 4. Do I just, how do I get rid, how do I?
Well, you're not supposed to delete line 4. I mean, we can,
I
yeah.
I didn't delete it. It just, when I hit enter, it like skipped and then it skipped line 4 and then went straight to line 5, the Stripe key account or Stripe key.
Yeah, but you have, does it still say Stripe secret key? Do you still have that there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're
Uh-huh.
fine. You're fine. So now you can go over to Stripe. We got to grab that.
Okay, I got my, okay, Stripe, and, okay, Stripe secret key.
Yeah, you need the secret key. Yep. That's all we need for now. We don't have that web thing.
So all we need is the secret key. Yep. Okay. So guys, if you're on my screen, this is what it looks like. And again, we'll go back over it in a second, but we are going to move forward. So where it says environment variables, here's where it's really fun. You can take all your copied env variables and just paste the entire thing here. Look at this, guys. It took everything. You see?
Did you just do import or what? Next SAS starter import or what?
Yep. So you hit import, you get here, then you choose environment variables.
Okay.
And you paste all of it in. So it looks like you can only put one, but you can actually put like 100. So put them all in. Once you're done, hit the play. And that's it.
I got to hover
And
over
we-
example name and then I just can post it all in. Okay.
Yeah.
It
And then you
pastes-
just hit the play. And then your screen will look like mine. It's going to go through like a deployment phase and it may fail because we still got to do 2 things.
Did you copy, you didn't copy the Postgres or did you?
All right, folks, it was an issue. So we're hoping to get everybody back in. and start it back up again. So if you don't see somebody that was to your left and right, tag them and bag them and bring them in, because we have literally 5 minutes left to deploy. So we're going to make sure everybody gets back in. Sometimes that happens in rural areas. We have Starlink,
We were
we got
so
some other
close.
things.
We
I
were
know,
so
right, man?
Yep.
We were so close. I'm smacking you a high five, though. It was a good effort. So we'll try to get everybody back in. Make sure that we can find all of our new friends and have the space back up so we can finish it off. Ross, you were continuing on your screen after it had died. So we might have to go back about 5 minutes
Yeah, it's
just to
fine.
make
And
sure.
guys, it does work.
Excellent.
So that's good.
And once again, I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes things like this happen, and it's an inconvenience, but it's also proof that what, we're not necessarily living in the matrix, right? So this isn't a sim. We frack up things in real time. So there it is.
Cool. That's so cool. Is
I got a
Julie-
congrats.
Huh? What did you
Oh,
say?
I
Kurt?
got a congrats. It's like it deployed. So
You guys
yeah.
deployed?
Well, Ross, I didn't yet. So now what do I need that Postgres and all of that stuff or what? I just hover
Yes,
over
ma'am.
and paste or what?
Yeah. I pasted in the ENV in Vercel.
The whole ENV, everything.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
everything.
because yeah.
And then hit deploy. Boom.
Well, okay, I don't have to change. You did something on the screen. It didn't work for you. What did you change, Ross? I saw it.
I didn't change anything. I changed my key. So in Stripe, I put the secret key because it said secret key, but it's wrong. It's publishable key that you need. So the top one,
Oh.
not bottom one.
I have the same problem.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
and-
wait
And
a
the
minute.
error literally tells you in the error, it's like, dude, wrong key, bro.
Okay, so I don't need the Stripe secret key.
No, you don't.
So, and the webhook is the PK or what?
Webhook, nothing yet. We're gonna build that right now.
So the Stripe secret key, I don't put the secret key in, I put the public key in.
Right.
Oh, huh? Why? Okay, that's so confusing.
You
It's
put the secret key in, you're getting hacked.
Exactly.
Oh.
Who said that right now?
Smoke.
Guys, Smoke is dropping the alpha right now.
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a wallet address. I get it.
Well, but
Hey,
what confuses me is because it's in the ENV file, but if I push it, then of course I can't do that. Okay.
Now,
So if you deployed with the secret key, you have to undeploy. I mean, it ran. I
Yeah,
used what
it
AI
did.
tutor recommended.
no, that's a different key. We're talking about the Stripe key. Has to be the
Yeah,
the first.
the Stripe key, it says SK. It's not PK. So is that going to be an issue now?
The Stripe key that I have starts with SK_test.
Yeah, it's the same as mine. Yeah, I didn't run into
Yeah.
any errors. So okay, I'm
No,
good then.
so it's reverse. It's like reverse. The publishable key is what you would normally put, right? But it doesn't want that. It wants the secret key because it's going to store it in a database. So it's like reverse what you
yeah.
would normally do. That's why this is like this. Now, who knows? And this is purely, we're going to target Sharon because it's been fun. Where is she? Oh, she's not here to be targeted?
I don't even see
Yes, she
Sharon,
is.
but I
She's
heard
left the
her
LLM.
voice.
She's left the LLM right
Oh,
there.
there she is. She's in the other
Okay,
room.
yeah.
Now I can see her.
So we're targeting you again. Sharon, I just signed up to my website. I got really excited and it didn't work. Why?
Because I don't know the link. What is this localhost 3000? Is that okay? The base URL, is that good?
Thank God your brain's on. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is we have to look at this URL that it gave us for ourselves. This is actually the URL that has to go there. So first, let's do that. So we're going to go to settings, environment variables on Vercel, head over to base URL, which is as of now really stupid and not real. We're going to make it real. And we're going to hit save. And now that's not going to actually work until we redeploy. and then it will work.
Okay, that was too fast. Just one more time at the same speed.
So we're
Your
going
project
into
has a URL, right? You got to go to the project and copy the URL that it actually
Yep.
is.
the real one.
Yeah,
You
the
can go
real
to-
one, because we have this dumb local host thingy in there. We got to change that.
Correct.
So just go to your projects, your deployments, or where we're project, go to project, Kirk, and then you'll find the link, the domain. It's called domain. Oh,
Yeah, I
you can
got the
see
link of
mine.
environment
Yeah.
variables where after we get environment variables, you click two different things after that. So
No, so settings, environment variables, and then I went to the one I want to change, base URL.
base
Is
URL.
Julie back? Julie, can you come up here? I just want to know if you're on the call now with us. Come up here, please. Right away. Come up here. I'm doing the Ross now. Come up on stage.
Hey,
And then
Ross.
just replace that.
Hey, I'm sorry to interject everybody, but in VS Code, Ross, and last time you told us to keep the env file .local until we were ready to deploy. Is that not the case this time?
Oh no, that's still 100% correct. Leaving it as .env is terrible if we push, which we haven't yet. But if we were about to push, we would change that to local, so it would be ignored, my friend. You are right.
Where is redeploy on this page?
So redeploy is go to deployment, look for the green light, and go to the three dots and hit redeploy.
So
But-
also, I was severely late. Are you just setting everybody up with Stripe right now, like we did last time?
We're deploying a full stack application just so we understand what we're going to need to do the next part with.
Okay. Did you already go to GitHub and pick out a repo?
We already had one that we're working on, but we're about to go get a new one in about 2 minutes. We're just getting this launched. Make sure it works.
Where do I
Okay.
find, okay, Ross, where can I don't know where to find where I can change the URL. I'm kind of lost. Where do I go? Project settings, or where the heck do I go to enter the new?
It's just settings in project and environment variables. I'm literally there on the
Oh,
live stream.
yeah, I see it.
Also, according to the GitHub and according to Neon, we have no tables. That's bad. So it says that we have to migrate and seed. So we have to actually seed the database. So I'm going to just try that and hopefully it works. So this is the final step, and this is what makes your database actually work. So we never installed this yet, so we're gonna install it. But Sharon, do you see my screen? you
Yeah,
see
but I have a little problem. How do I get to the project and actually get that URL? I'm kind of lost here. I'm kind of lost.
You go to on Vercel, you just go to your project, and it's there. It says domains.
Domain, okay, wait a minute. Oh, domains, and then it just says next SaaS starter Flax Vercel app, no
it.
HTTPS, nothing else.
Click it and then copy that URL. First, click it.
Okay, and I can't click it. I can only say edit. I can only go on edit.
No, what are you talking about?
Well, it
Oh, you're
failed to assign. Maybe that's why it
Are you
failed.
here?
Project settings. I'm in project settings.
Well, if your deployment was not successful, what does it say?
It says fail to assign.
I don't know what that means, but come in the live stream because this is kind of difficult. So come to live stream so I can see.
Okay.
I'm in
Guys,
the live stream and okay, good.
that's good. Okay, so this does not want npm. So unlike before where we would do npm, this one's pnpm. So it says it in the GitHub. And when you run it to see the database, this is the most important part. And so I just ran one command. pnpm install. So it said done. Now I need to connect to the database. So this connects to Neon, and we're gonna go through this slower in a minute. I just want to make sure this all works. So again, I'm just pasting from GitHub. Now, env cannot be env local yet. It has to stay .env. So make sure you don't change that. And it's using Prisma automatically. So we don't got to do anything. We just run a command. I ran a command. And then I run the second command. And then that's literally it. Once you do that, your database is built. And we're going to test this. And then we're going to go through it again. I just want to see what it's saying.
Okay, Julie is up here, so we got to help Julie out. And then I'm in the live stream. So Julie, where are you now?
I am still back on that one screen where I just put in the Stripe secret key. I am confused. Okay, where it says on that line 7, I put in a random code that I had AI Tutor generate. Now what do I do after that?
If you have all keys in, right, the secret key in, right, and all of that, then you can basically, what did we do next? Okay, we have all of that. Then we actually went to Vercel, didn't we? Yeah, and we have to enter those variables in Vercel. So you still have Vercel, weren't you? Season 1, weren't you with us?
No.
So you're going to have to create a Vercel account.
Click save.
I have
Make sure you
Vercel.
click save. And
Oh
Julie,
yeah, don't
whenever
forget you say, Julie.
Julie,
too
whenever
many
you're
people are
working in
talking.
VS, just copy and paste. Don't hit enter because it's gonna put another line in.
Okay. I do have a Vercel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Julie, you have to have one. Smoke, I put up top the link of the repo that we started with because you missed it in the beginning of class. Go ahead, Julie.
Thank you.
Now, what do I do in Vercel? I have my
You
So,
just, okay, Ross is here.
It does work. As you can see, I'm fully logged in. So, and you could literally manage your own subscription and you could check out when Stripe is set up, which I haven't finished setting up yet, but it does let you sign in to your app, which is really, really cool. And it has a dashboard and a homepage. So it really is a great starter kit. So now who's to the point where the website works right now? So if you have website works, then you're good. If you have on my screen, there's 2 things. It says ready, error. Who has an error? Do an emoji if you have error.
I think that Chidzo does have an
Chidzo,
error,
you have an error?
or is something is not working quite right.
Yeah, I think I missed a little bit further back, but I got a deployment error.
What does it say?
Sorry about that. I'm trying to change it now. I think I switched the secret key and the publisher
Yeah,
key
that's
around.
probably it.
So I just switched them back, but I'm not sure how to now paste that back into the deployment.
Well,
So-
that's where I am too. And since
Yeah.
I'm in the live stream, we can maybe show it so that Shitzo can follow that.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm
I-
actually there too. So if you need to redeploy, that's in deployments. If you need to update the key, that's in settings, environment variables. And then you're
Yeah.
able to literally edit it and paste in the new.
Sorry, when mine failed, it said by Lee Robb. Did I maybe have something incorrectly? Like, is that not based off the clone if it says Lee Robb here in the failed deployment?
Where?
If I in my deployments, where the error is shown, where it failed, it says 60
No, that's
minutes
okay.
ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay, Ross. Yeah, I still have that problem. I need to get that link. I don't know where to get it.
So share your same error Sharon just had, and you need to trigger a redeployment. So to do this, you can go to your GitHub where you did the fork, hit
Yep.
edit on the README, make a spacebar somewhere, and then hit commit. It'll trigger a rebuild.
Hit edit on the README. Okay.
Yep, it's a secret little trick to make your builds happen.
Commit
Now,
changes.
yep.
I'll put
And
you
then
back
you-
on stage, Ross.
Yeah, yours works, right?
two females upstairs that are in heat. So he is just not being cool tonight. So I will tell you, I hope that each and every one of you have a wonderful evening and that all of your dreams catch you. I could not be more proud of the crew that has shown up here day in and day out. I know that season 4 is just going to be incredible. Just watching the things happen in slow motion tonight on the live stream. God, I'm just so proud of you. I mean, I'm in awe because, you know, it wasn't just a short couple years ago that the barrier to entry was so high. And here you have ordinary folks doing extraordinary things. And I think that's pretty amazing. So I wanted to thank Tech in Schools. For those of you that do not have My AI Tutor or Pixio, they're an important suite of tools. They're going to augment your experience, but they're going to give you the mechanical advantage in your endeavors. And, you know, obviously this is not a shell space. You know, what the boys do, I say boys in air quotes, they're just incredible men. I'll tell you that. What they're doing behind the scenes to hack education and disrupt the education model and giving access to folks who've never had access before is pretty spectacular. Every time we, you know, subscribe, a kid in New York is getting a digital twin. And if we unsubscribe, they get to keep it. It's a very unique structure that they have set up. And for all intents and purposes, we're all guinea pigs. We're trying to figure this thing out together. And we're creating a curriculum for future dwellers. We're creating a path for people that we may never know, never meet, but giving them the opportunity to change their stars by following in our footsteps. And so, as pioneering souls, I wish to commend each and every one of you. It's not easy. It's not easy being the one that has to cut the path, but I will tell you, it's very satisfying knowing that other people have a place to go. Ross, did you need to fill in, or Mattia and
No,
Ash Morgan?
so a few things. We're not ending in 5 minutes, but we are ending soon.
I know. I was just putting it out there.
So you can save your goodbyes for a little bit. But first, did everyone get up to this point? Because the next point is just really easy, but everyone has to be at the same point.
I had an error with the migration.
What did it say?
It gave me the failed to migrate. You don't have the right ENV.
There you go.
Postgres.
It should be .env, not .env.local, and it has to be the neon.
Okay.
And you have to make sure the variable is not database, and it's what it's supposed to say. The variable should be, I'm looking at GitHub now, because we need to get something from this GitHub really quick, but your env should be .env, no local, and it should say Postgres _ URL equals what is in neon. Chizo, did your migrations work?
I believe so. It said exiting after I did it also.
You could go to neon and see if there's something in tables.
Neon in tables.
If you see stuff, then it worked.
Activity logs, invitations, team
Oh
members.
yeah, you did it.
Sweet.
So now go to your website and you have to log in with the credential from GitHub first. So if you go to the GitHub, it has like a test user, test password. You got to use that on your website. And don't hit sign up, hit log in. It should work for the first time. You did it. Now you're at the last piece, which is super easy. It's just going to Stripe and copying a stupid thing. Okay, so test mode on Stripe is now working. Now the last final piece of crazy for tonight, before we get into the fun part, talking about what's next, which we're using all this technology, by the way. So if you couldn't get through, if you didn't have this, next part would be really difficult because we're gonna need to do all of this stuff, but like on a bigger scale. So if you go to webhooks, you don't have a webhook, right? You guys see this, guys? On stream, you guys can look first and then do. So first, I'm hitting add endpoint. Now, I don't have the URL, but I know what it's supposed to look like. So if you're looking on stream, he tells you right here at the bottom what it's supposed to be. So the structure should look like this. So our URL needs to look like that, but it needs to be our URL. So I'm going to go get our real URL, right? We're going to put it here. So I'm going to leave the stream here so it can catch up. This is what your API hook should look like.
So shall we do it now or watch first?
You can do it. Do it with me
Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
If you want to grab life by the horns, live on the edge, do it. Now, a lot of time, it'll tell you what events to listen to. So it doesn't say that, which is hilarious. So what I do, and this is like when I don't know, I just select every single event in the whole world. And I
Okay.
add all,
Yeah, I already missed this add endpoint. How do I add endpoint in Stripe?
you got to go to webhooks and hit add. And then your URL, it should be your URL /API /Stripe /webhook. I'm leaving it on stream so you guys can see it. I'm leaving it up on the stream.
So where? Okay, and then we have to enter.
So it should be your URL, and then look at the stream. Look at the
And
way
then-
it's situated.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You have to copy it exactly and then add all endpoints. Now, what this does is when you build your app, it's going to allow people to subscribe to you monthly. So this is going to create plans, basically.
It's app API /Stripe /webhook.
Yep. So
And
what
then-
you're seeing on screen is what you should be doing.
Okay, and then just just go on add endpoint.
No, you have to select events and select all.
Oh,
And
So-
then you can hit at the bottom, add endpoint.
select events.
All.
I'll select all events. Add events.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's a lot of stuff.
I know. Stripe does a lot of stuff for us. So we don't have to worry about all this shit. It's good.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I figured out, yeah, I can even add a customer portal to my website. I figured out. today.
Yeah. And you could even add a pricing table to your website too from
Exactly.
Stripe.
but I
No
wanna
code.
automate that so that people
Yeah.
don't get on my case and send me emails, you know?
Exactly. And that's why we use Stripe to create subscriptions.
So, and then we copy that URL and what do we do with it?
Well, you got to make sure your URL looks like mine. So everyone look at the stream if you're following along in real time and make sure it looks identical. If it does, then you can hit submit, which is what I'm about to do right now.
Where do you hit submit? Okay.
All the way at the bottom. Add endpoint. Once you add the endpoint, then the easy part. So if you're looking at the stream, if I hit signing secret, I get that secret we need, actually. Then I go to Vercel, go back to my environment, and I can finally add the last thing that's missing.
Oh, that's so cool. So so just so I understand, so this webhook is really that final connection that it reads all the stuff from Stripe because people are going to sign up through Stripe. Will that
Well,
then?
Yeah, well, it lets you. So right now, I'm on the current subscription of free. So if I wanted,
I think we just lost you, or did I just lose you? Does anyone hear Ross?
I
Can you
think
hear me?
Ross- There he is.
I think there he is. He's back.
Okay. So basically, it can't go to Stripe unless it has that webhook. So it can't actually, like you can't charge people basically.
And how does it connect to Neon? How does that work?
It's already connected to Neon right now through the
Okay,
ENV.
so what happens through the talking between Stripe and my webpage will automatically then be shown in Neon.
Yeah.
Okay, man, this is awesome.
So now all your customers end up in Neon. All your data ends up in Neon. All your payments in Neon. The money gets passed through Stripe, sent to Neon.
So,
and then goes from Neon to Stripe.
so Neon is basically just the cloud service to keep all of that stuff safe. Is that correct?
It's a database. It's a database as a service. It's called DaaS, D-A-A-S.
Okay, but I manage in Stripe, right? I can manage everything in Stripe.
Correct.
I don't do any, Neon is just my database so that I am alive.
Correct.
That I'm, okay, okay.
So and when it all works together, it will let people actually subscribe. So today, this was like a first run getting you guys all ready, because now we're going to discuss what we're going to do next, and we're going to kind of vote. So if you want your voice to be heard, you have to come up on stage, or you have to leave comments if you want to have like some direction into what we're going to do. So hold on. So everyone should get up to like this point.
I don't have to take that link anywhere, right? It's just done now.
It's done, yeah.
Correct? Okay, so I can just go back to my page. And
Mhm.
then what do I do? Activity? Where do I go to see if something's
No,
happened?
yours is done. It's deployed and working.
Working, okay. I'm still trying to understand, why do I need Neon?
It's a database, so it's going to hold your users. It's like Clerk doesn't hold data; it just reads data. So if you use Clerk plus Neon, you would get a database plus authentication.
Yeah, but
See, like-
Stripe is holding my database, right?
Nope, Stripe only holds your money and your money data.
So that's where either then a CRM tool comes in place, or I just go ahead and do Neon if I don't have any further use case and I don't really need a CRM.
Right. But Neon's going to be Neon will be your database for like your SaaS, because like they're free and it's great. Now,
Yeah, but I don't necessarily need that part for my subscribers on, just if I want to really get fancy and sell some products in that set. No, I just don't understand.
so you need Neon. It's a database. It holds all your data. So like the Pixio API runs on Neon. So if there's no Neon, you can't log in and make workflows. All your workflows are saved in Neon.
Oh, so that's, okay, so if I were to offer people on my website AI tools, right, that they can play with,
Yeah,
I
you would
would
have to store their
be-
data somewhere.
I have to store it somewhere. I understand now, because everything that goes past the address, all the things that Stripe holds, right?
Uh-huh.
I need Neon. So as soon as I give any AI tool into my website for the people to play with, I'm going to have Neon.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have any AI tools, I don't necessarily need it, because I have Stripe to take care of address and that, right? Is that correct?
Well, you need a database if you're building any software. So you would need a database. Stripe is not a database, unfortunately.
Okay, so as soon as I'm building any software, okay, I understand. That makes
So like
sense.
when we build the next thing, Neon's gonna hold our designs, and we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about what we're gonna build. But basically, Neon is gonna hold user data.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
That MIT license, did we do anything with that?
No. Why?
Okay, just curious, just make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. So it's the there's nothing to do. It's a license. So it's the MIT license means that you can use it and you can build with it. And the software we're going to be building most likely will be licensed in MIT or Apache.
All these fancy words.
Okay. Now, before we end, the next part is you get one choice. And the choice will be decided between now and when we meet next week. But I want you guys to look at the live stream. So I have some ideas. So the first idea was, hold on. Okay, make sure the live stream is working. Yes, okay. So if you see on YouTube, I'm gonna go to this particular YouTube.
Step into Wix Studio, the web platform for
Oops.
Build with Antonio.
Yeah. So here's one of the options. Check this out. Come on. Okay, look. So this is one option that we could build. Imagine like your own personal Canva. So you don't even have to pay Canva. Except it's powered by AI. This is all Next.js, built with Neon, Vercel, Next.js, basically all the things we just did. Stripe for subscriptions. And you can see it's quite packed with features. And it's not just an editor, there's an AI button, and there's a way to become pro. So that's subscriptions. You're seeing a live demo of this right now. This is one of the ideas I had. Because a lot of people use these tools, but not a lot of people have like Canva Premium that has like AI and editing. So like this is the cool alternative because it's free. You would pay nothing.
You know what's awesome, Ross? Because you can make designs and backgrounds with AI and really put a lot of stuff in there for people.
Yeah. And you're seeing all the features right now. And it's very, very professional. And I built it out, so I know it works.
This is awesome. Mm-hmm.
This is
And that-
like an actual demo of it.
This is
So
so
we
cool.
could build this, like we can all build our own. And then you can charge people to use it. It'll be like your own Canva AI Fusion editor. And you can make your own templates too for people.
Yeah,
So you can like,
that's
make
my
a
big
design
thing.
and save it
Yeah.
as like an official template. This all runs in the browser and costs $0 to run. Look, you can see what he's doing. He's making like a full professional design. And, like,
Why does it cost zero? It costs $0 to run because
Because we build it. Like we're gonna build this whole
and where
entire
is it
platform.
stored? Where is it stored?
Data will be stored in Neon.
In Neon. Oh, so all we're paying basically, okay, I understand now. So all we're gonna be paying is Neon.
Well, potentially when you start getting customers, yeah, but initially, no.
Where
It's all
you
free.
said it had an AI component here, that
Yep.
usually would be pro. So that wouldn't cost either. Is that the open router thing, or is that something?
Yeah, so for you it would be like basically free, but for users they would have to pay.
I mean, you could add special features. Let's say
Yeah, of
you
course.
want Vine to, you can use Kria API, Kyber API, you can use Runway, you can do all kinds of fancy stuff then, right? You can use then APIs of, if you have a certain idea, what you want people to achieve,
Yeah,
you can
like-
build on top of that. You can
Exactly.
then
Like
add
if you're
those
looking at the screen right now, it's using Flux to generate images right in the editor. Now, to do this, it's an 18-hour video that we're gonna distill, like I'm gonna distill for you. And fortunately, the code is, well, unfortunately, the code is not available on GitHub. So in this case, I will show you guys how to get the code. It'll be available in the Idea to Impact in Mighty Networks.
This is awesome. What do you guys think about it?
So this is option one. What do you think?
Okay. Good idea.
I love it now that you mentioned that it has the AI component piece. If it was just straight basic, then no.
Well, not only does it have AI, but like you could like go get the Luma API and apply for it, get access, and then build like a video generator right in here.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, right? Adding certain features, right?
So like this, it basically is just like Canva. but it's like a private label version.
You're building personal portfolio website.
And you don't ever have to pay. And of course, you can save as JSON, which
Step
Kirk
into
will love.
Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises, and turn website layouts.
Now,
But
this
in
is
this
one option,
tutorial, we are building
and it's a good
landing
option.
page for your SaaS, and by the end of it, you'd have
I have a
this,
few options.
modern and responsive page build. That
This is
also
it. We're going to build our
contains
landing
most
page with
common
this.
components for landing
So our
pages.
landing
So
page for our
starting
SaaS,
off with the hero
I
section,
already
where we
pre-chose
have
this for you guys.
color
You don't get to choose,
buttons,
but look how nice it is.
UI components that we have to build. But this makes it
He's a benevolent dictator. I'll just tell you.
That's
Well,
good.
I
We
know
like
it works.
We like it.
So
He
that,
wants
that's
clean
just the
code.
landing page. And then I have, then I have this one. So here's another option. This uses the same technology.
building and deploying a SaaS product. I did give it a lot of thought what kind of SaaS product it would be, and I also wanted to build something that there are now tutorials already out there that do this. And I came up with idea of building a feedback collecting widget. So what we'll do is we'll create a widget that could be integrated into other applications, whether or not they're no code.
not, but
Usually
that's
no code applications also do have a script tag.
Look, it's a website where you can collect feedback. So it's like you put this in your website, and someone else, like you, other people can get feedback for their apps. So they would pay for the ability to put this feedback in their app. This is what's known as like truly like you make money and you don't have to do anything. There's no AI there. That was one option. It's a full stack application. Here's the landing page that I chose. The other one was not real. Here's the real one. Here's what your landing pages will look like, guys. Look how cool this is.
In today's video, we are building an application which, given the prompt, creates a
So this is what we're going for, like the design. So whatever your project is about is what this page will be about. And this is all open source that I found for you. All this stuff will be available to you.
that can be published, shared,
Here's
and
another one.
explored by
So you
others.
guys know
We'll
MailChimp? Who
create
knows
an
MailChimp?
admin dashboard where users can track their forms, create more of them,
So
and see the results
imagine you had an AI software that you're just like, here's the form I want, make it.
can view and manage their subscription.
So it will design the entire form, like full, the whole thing. See, there's your form. And you can distribute forms to people, like feedback forms. So it's a full stack application where people could log in and make their own forms. It sends email using Brevo, which we've learned about. And it uses Stripe to charge people to do this. You can create only 3 forms before you're going to get charged. And it runs on Vercel, obviously.
And it's basically a way for your LLM to be.
The other option that I had was an AI knowledge chatbot. So basically a chatbot that knows about your organization, your product, and your company. This is not a SaaS, it's more like a program that you would build, but it could still run the same way.
Is this something that could then, in that case, run locally for companies?
Yes. Now, those, and then basically anything code with Antonio is doable. I chose the Canva one because it looks really cool, but there's even like a Notion one and like a learning management system, Twitch clone. So like there's options and you guys could find your own options, and we're going to make a final decision in the first 15 minutes of next class. So you can do your own research and find cool things that exist, like I do, like I'm showing you. And then if it's open source, we could do it. If it's pay to play, we can't. If it's code with Antonio, we can. Even though,
What was the one before? The knowledge management chatbot that's works on your own data? I mean, was there any restriction on what kind of data or how much data or?
well, the only restriction is how much you'll pay for. So like in free Neon, you're fine. But if you upload like 800 documents, you might have to pay Neon for their monthly. So it's only limited to what storage you have, if that makes sense.
What I love about that one I mean, I'm gonna definitely keep that in mind, even if we don't do it, because you think about client data and all of that, you know what I mean?
Well,
Well,
If
you're
you work with sensitive data, that's interesting.
well, you're building your own knowledge internally, right? And so,
Yeah.
so my thing to you guys is if you want to do that one, I would go on YouTube and look for like building your own knowledge base SaaS and find one. And then send me a link. YouTube is the greatest place to look for this stuff. To be honest.
We have to make a decision. I like all three ideas, so we'll see.
I like Code with Antonio because here's why. Let's say you guys get tripped up. There's an 18-hour YouTube video. So I think.
Is Canva, the clone also code with?
Yeah, so I think we should choose like Canva, the Notion clone, the LMS clone. It's really cool. Like these are good. Look, Slack, a Slack clone, guys. You can build Slack, and it's private, and you don't even got to pay Slack. Crazy.
it'd be nice to do the smash up with Notion with that knowledge thing. Chatbot.
Yeah, so things like this exist. You just got to find them. Like one that comes to mind is called Quiver. That's kind of that. There, you got to do research. This is your part now. Now it's on you. You got to go on YouTube and find cool stuff. I found a lot of cool stuff. So like, if you guys don't bring nothing, then I'm just gonna choose probably Canva because it's like really useful. And it having AI features mean you can add like anything in, like music generation, video generation, like anything, even Comfy UI API calls. Hint, hint, Sharon.
Yeah, I know. I like that too.
But another one that's really good is JavaScript Mastery. He has really good videos. The latest thing he did was AI SaaS platform for Zoom, like a Zoom clone. But this is where you guys got to do research. Like you got to figure it out because we're all building the same thing. So most likely we're gonna go with Code with Antonio because, I mean, the content alone is helpful for you guys to be able to like watch the video.
Yeah.
Like it's like a professional video.
A
But like
Figma
things like
clone? Oh my god.
yes, but here's the thing, guys. Like Spotify clone. How do you think we did AI Music Wave? Like,
I was
let's
about
get
to
real.
say, yeah.
Like, let's really get real here. Also, you guys want to see something really cool? So, see this one, AI SaaS Companion? It's open source, right? You know what that means? That like, you got to fix your problems. So this is actually broken, and I had to fix it. Do you know where you can find it? Sharon, do you know? This is how real what he builds is. Do you know where it is?
I'm not on the screen. I'm sorry. I have to feed my dogs.
Oh, you're
Sorry.
good. You've used it before. Character AI in AI Tutor.
Oh, okay.
It's literally AI SaaS Companion, Code with Antonio, but I fixed it up and added features. But like, you can really, really go production. Like, there is essence of a Code with Antonio app in AI Tutor right now. Like, if you go to Character AI and you look at this video, you're gonna be like, oh, same. Like, you'll see. It was really great what he made, and he open sourced it, which means I could build with it. And I watched all 18 hours to build that, and it was amazing. Then there's build a SaaS AI platform. That's another good one. So you can build a platform that does music, images. Look. So text, music, image, video, code. And it charges you. You only get 5, and then you got to pay. This is called Genius. And of course, open source. 18-hour video. So this is what we're gonna do. And like, if we couldn't do what we did today, like if you didn't get to the end, you need to get to the end Because like that, we're doing way bigger scale next time. This was just to get your like used to it again. Just probably you guys forgot.
You know, Ross, interesting fact, the gentleman who created Character AI, he had worked for Google forever, and Google just paid what, $2.5 billion to get him back. Yeah, it's crazy, because I think they're gonna kind of usurp all of that stuff back. But it tells you how powerful some of these, you know, tools are
You know
and
what's cool,
what
by
they
the
can
way,
be used
Sarah?
for.
There were
What?
people that came here, like Chidzo and some other new people, and they actually did it. It's like crazy.
I'm thrilled. I am, you know, despite all the glitches and everything else that happened this evening, how many people succeeded is mind blowing. And I mean, we were kind of hoping that just one or two, you know, and there was a laundry list of folks that actually got it to work. And the folks that didn't get it to work are just on the cusp. I mean, there's some just
And what's
weird
crazy
wonkiness, and
is
it's
like
cool.
even Smoke and all his like doing a million things at a million times speed. He's actually, I think, learning too. The second time around,
I
even
know
more.
he is. I know he is. Actually, I think every time you experience all of this stuff over again. I mean, that first season, no one knew what they were doing, and now, I mean, you pick up on certain things, and it's. I know, Rutro. Some of us still don't know what we're doing, but the fact is,
By the way, wait, hold on. Did Rutro actually deploy and database stuff?
No,
close.
I'm right
I think
there.
she's
I'm right
close.
there. I'm just have to hook a few things, have to just do the Stripe thing, and I gotta double check my tables, but I should be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I failed at the
Oh.
environment. I have to go, there's something with my Python locally, as you predicted. So I gotta sort that out. It'll take a long time, I'm sure.
Wait, what happened?
It just the environment variables, like even after I changed everything to set the appropriate thing, there's still the same errors. I took the output and put it in the AI tutor, and it gave me directions as to everything I need to do, but
Just show me on
it's
stream
gonna
really
take long.
quick. No, it's not. Show me on stream. It's like 1 second fix.
I have stuff in the oven right now, so just
Ross, what he's telling you is that he banged his head up against the wall and then decided, you know what, I need food because I'm
No, you're
hangry.
good.
And
Just
so then he's
understand.
going around.
Just understand, Kirk. This stuff, once it's live, the only other thing is you're just pushing database. So you just have to type 2 commands. That's it. So if they're not working, there's nothing with your versioning that has to change. You just have to install pnpm most likely. And if you did that, then you have to run the other 2 commands, and they should actually work flawlessly, as long as your env is proper and not called
I think the
.env.local.
ENV is totally. There's something wrong with the ENV. Is what I think is going on. Because I think
Okay,
when I try
well,
to migrate the database,
when you want to fix it,
So
send me your env and I can tell
I'm
you.
doing the afterglow. I'll
Okay.
do the afterglow if you want to talk about it after. But I like this I like the idea of the Canva one. That sounds really cool.
I like the Canva one too. Because it could be anything. But yeah, I will definitely help you out because it seems like it's super easy. And Sharon did it, and she was hallucinating ENVs, so, and she still did it. So that's good. But
Sharon did awesome. She did really good.
the next time we meet is going to be like, I'm going to have 7 links or 6 links to choose from. If you guys want to bring links to the party, you can feel free. Ultimately, I'm going to choose the one that makes the most sense. So you want to stick to not random GitHub repos, guys. Things like Lee Robinson are okay. Things like Vercel are okay. Big companies, not random people, because we want code that works. That's why Codis Antonio is great. JavaScript Mastery is great. Just go on YouTube, write Next.js, Sass, and then your idea that you want. And then find like a few videos and send it to me, and I'll let you know. But
Where are we sending? Slack or Mighty or DMV?
anywhere,
Or?
anywhere, wherever you want.
We're all over the place. We're all over the internet. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere and nowhere.
Send
I
it to
think
the
that
info
Cash
box,
Money
we'll get
Kev
it.
is gonna set
we're
up
nobody.
a poll also.
But that is where we're gonna end it here. Really good job. It's hard, so it's just gonna get harder. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but it'll be fun.